It's an old adage in hockey. Stay focused, never get too high after a win, or too low after losses. It applied to Felix Potvin last weekend. Friday night, the Caps suffered through a first period he'd like to forget. 3 goals given up and a seat to watch the final 2 periods in a 4-0 loss to Hartford. One of Potvin's greatest strengths, the ability to never let a loss or a victory affect his mental preparation, was his greatest ally on Saturday. Potvin was superb in a 2-2 tie with St. Louis. His incredible stops at one end were matched by timely goals at the other, and the Leafs used the mental picture of not too high, not too low for a big point. Tonight, they move to Winnipeg to continue their road trip. On 11. Tonight's telecast from the Winnipeg Arena is brought to you by Molson Canadian, by Pure Energy, rechargeable alkaline batteries, and by UPS, with service to the U.S. overnight by 8 a.m.
Been a rocky October for the Maple Leafs when they hit the Winnipeg Arena on November 1st, but they kicked the month off in style with a big win.
Larry to the side of the net. Gave the puck away. Here's Gardner on the front. They scored! And Chuck.
You have to know when to do it, because if you do it at the wrong time.
That's the right time, and that is a defenseman by the name of Kenny Johnson, who's made the power play perfect.
4-2 win over the Winnipeg Jets that night was a sign of things to come as the Leafs had a great November, inching up to 3rd overall in the Western Conference standings. Good evening, everybody. I'm Gord Stellick. Welcome you to tonight's game between the Toronto Maple Leafs and the Winnipeg Jets. For the Maple Leafs, this is the second game of a 3-game road trip. The Leafs have a very respectable .500 record on the road. For the Winnipeg Jets, they're 2 wins above .500 and have been playing quite well at home. As a matter of fact, that loss to the Leafs on November 1st was one of only 2 losses this season in 11 games at the home arena. It was supposed to be a season to remember here in Winnipeg. Unfortunately, it's been a season to remember for all the wrong reasons. The Jets' last season in this city. All kinds of speculation where they're going to end up. Phoenix, Oklahoma City seem to have taken over as the front runners after Minnesota seems to have bowed out of the picture. Meanwhile, hockey carries on for the Winnipeg Jets. Pretty decent team, possibly the best line providing the offense in the Western Conference, and some pretty decent goaltending between the pipes. For more on the Winnipeg Jets, we go to Paul Hendrick.
Well, Gord, there are three obvious essentials to winning hockey games: goal scoring, defense, and goaltending. And meatloaf predominant on the Winnipeg Jets menu this season because 2 out of 3 ain't bad. They've scored goals and they've had great goaltending thanks in large part to the play of Nikolai Habib-Ulin. He'll make his 15th consecutive start for the Jets tonight and has played so well this season. In fact, having been named the Jets' first star in 3 of their last 4 games, recording his first ever NHL shutout Sunday in the 4-0 win over Edmonton. Needless to say, their motto this season has been, don't worry, start happy.
Confidence in knowing that at any time that if we make a mistake in our own zone or we give up a 2-on-1 or 3-on-2, that Nicky will stop the puck for us. And Tim Shovelday hasn't played in a long time, but he's played extremely well for us too. But if you can have that confidence in your goaltender that if you do make a mistake, he's going to be back there to stop the puck for you.
And not since the days of Lincoln has the term "four-score" been as prevalent as it has been this year in Winnipeg. Not a single Canadian passport amongst this group. The Jets' foreign Legion of Doom has totaled 97 points in 85 combined games this season. Keith Tkachuk was virtually a grounded Jet Sunday night as he inhaled a thundering check from the Oilers' Kirk Maltby. He sustained a mild concussion and complained of a nasty headache, didn't practice yesterday, and will not play in tonight's game. All-Stars on the ice and certainly off as well, and that would include my colleagues for tonight's game, Jigs McDonald and Harry Neal.
Thanks, Paul. Tonight's game here in Winnipeg features 2 veteran defensemen, both making major contributions offensively. In fact, Larry Murphy comes into tonight's game, Harry, leading the entire league amongst defensemen in points.
Well, when Cliff Fletcher acquired Murphy in the summer, he wanted a guy to lead them offensively and to quarterback their power play. And although their power play's been a little soft lately, that's number 5 in the league, and you could see Murphy, who's one of the best at stepping off the point into the slot and making no mistakes when he gets there. He's only been held pointless in 7 of the 22 games he's played.
And here with the Jets, of course, becoming one of the most reliable defensemen in the league, Teppo Numminen has really emerged.
Well, I think he's one of the most underrated defensemen in the league. He's quite responsible defensively, and he's above average offensively. He's got a good shot. He's on the point on a pretty good power play for Winnipeg, and he led the team in plus-minus last year with a +12. And he's one of those guys that kind of plays the same way every night, the kind coaches like.
Oh, yes. Let's get you back to another guy we like, Gord Stellick.
Well, thanks very much, Jigs. Another guy they like quite a bit here in Winnipeg, Ty Domi, makes his first return as a Toronto Maple Leaf back to the city where he played. Supposed to be November 1st, but one punch to Ulf Samuelsson changed all that. Ty Domi now back to the city of Winnipeg. We wondered, what's it like, his first game back as a Maple Leaf?
Well, I spent some time here, and it was good times. But now I'm on a new team now, and coming here to work, get 2 points.
Last season there was talk of perhaps disgruntlement in the dressing room as you garnered your fair share of the headlines. That has changed in Toronto. Still any bad blood between the 2 dressing rooms?
It's just, I don't even want to talk about it. I told reporters here I don't want to talk about it. I'm just going to play hard and try to win.
Well, Ty Domi returns and some exciting offense on the Jets, but still not a great crowd out there tonight.
No, we're looking at about 6,000 to 8,000 fans. Still some fans filing in. It's really a tough time for the Jets this season. One game will be sold out. That is in April when Los Angeles is here, but certainly not tonight, Gord.
Well, meanwhile, sit back, enjoy the best seat in the house, back up to the booth with Jigs and Harry.
Thanks, Gord. Hi again, everybody. The fans settling back into their seats here at the Winnipeg Arena. Leafs have beaten the Jets twice this season. And Felix Potvin, no surprise, starting. It's the 11th straight game. There's the record on the season, 10-6-3, with a 3.00 goals against average. And Nicky Habib-Ulin, 15 straight now. 10-5-0, and during this stretch of 14, he has a record of 8-6-0. Devo, Paul Dvorsky to referee tonight. Mike Civic and Mark Weller to work the lines. The Leafs to the left, the Jets to the right. Gilmore on the draw with Turcotte, and immediately it's cleared to the Winnipeg line for Jeff Findlay. Slaps it in off the glass. Potvin will put it up off the boards. Toward Doug Gilmore, relayed it toward Andrechuk, but a little too much on it. Findlay promptly deposit deep in the lead zone, and Gilmore will set up the play. It's nicely underway here in Winnipeg. Made on it to Mike Cartner. Made it away from Doan, picks up his own pass off the boards and dumps it in deep. Habib-Ulin leading it back into that. Numminen using the boards, failed to clear it out. Andrechuk did get it outside the line, and Skavich puts it back to Andrechuk. Skavich and Doan in a mix-up at center ice. And our first penalty call of the night, Harry.
Shane Doan, one of the 3 teenage rookies that started the season with the Jets, roars right over Dmitry Yushkevich early in this game and draws the first penalty. Yuskevich shoots it in, and kind of admiring his shoot in. Next thing you know, he's looking at the roof. 2 points in the last 2 games for Doan. 12th or 7th overall in the 95 draft from Kamloops. And last year in the Memorial Cup for the championship team, he won the Staff Smythe Memorial Trophy for the MVP of the Memorial Cup.
We're 36 seconds, make it 38 seconds into the opening period. Numbers on the Toronto power play, ranking them 5th in the league, while the Winnipeg penalty killing area is 22nd.
Well, the league power play, as I mentioned in the opening, a little soft lately. He's 3 for 30 in the last 5 games, so they have to improve that to get it back on track.
An early opportunity here is Gilmore. Carries it out of the zone. Got a step on Jamnoff. And it's poked away. Covered by Murphy. Murphy and Johnson on the points. Gilmore, Andrechuk, and Gartner up front for the Maple Leafs. Murphy, Andrechuk, and Hart around the boards. Handled here by Dave Manson. Johnson drops back. 30 seconds, now 40 gone in this power play. Gartner in off the right wing boards. Manson trying to tie him up. Here's Andrechuk with it. By Gartner. Gartner has been in a bit of a goal-scoring slump. His pass deflected, and here's a break for Drake. Down the left side. Looks to Eastwood, then fires, and the save made by Felix Potvin. Murphy brings it the other way. On to Doug Gilmore. And to peel back. Sorts things out. Feeds it off to the right side for Mobesso. Shoots. Bobby Bull in the first stop. A rebound was there, and then tucked in under it by Dave Manson.
Well, although the Jet penalty killing is nothing to rave about, 21st, as you mentioned, in the league, they do have 6 shorthanded goals, and they nearly made it 7 here. Dallas Drake, who's got 3 of those 6. The puck bounces past Murphy, and Drake comes in and lets one go from 41 feet out that Potvin handles without any trouble at all. And the Leafs get a chance on the ensuing rush. Avi Gulen makes the save and then has to dive to recover the loose puck.
Still 50 seconds remaining in Dolan's charging penalty. Benoit Hogue taking the draw here, won the face-off. Johnson gave it to Yuskevich and back to Matt Sundin. In deeper to Hogue to Sundin. To Yuskevich at the blue line. To Sundin at the top of the circle. And Hogue in front. Couldn't get it around the defenseman, so Sundin will set it up now. Yuskevich at the right point. Allen is on the other side. The pass went to Mobesso, and he can't get it through. This time it went to Hogue, to Mobesso for a shot. Hobby Bull in the stop, and there's no rebound this time.
Well, the Leafs have had 2 decent opportunities on this power play. The 23 seconds left in the penalty to Doan. Benoit Hogue has really been on a hot streak for the Toronto Maple Leafs lately. He makes a nice pass to Mobesso there. He has scored the winning goal in the last 3 Leaf victories. He's had 6 multiple-point games this year, and he's been in on 7 of the last 11 Leaf goals. So Benoit is warm, to say the least.
He'll step in to take the draw here. Darren Turcotte for Winnipeg. Puck went off the linesman, and now back to Yuskevich. Sundin feeds it off. Hogue walks in front. The shot was blocked and cleared right into the Winnipeg players' bench.
Avi Gulen made the save with the shaft of his goal stick, I think, on the play that the Winnipeg Jets allowed the Leaf player to walk out of the corner. Let's have a look at it here. Watch Hogue. He walks out of the corner now and tries to pass across, and the pass across is stopped with the shaft of Avi Gulen's stick.
This is the guy who shut out Edmonton here on Sunday night, his first career NHL shutout.
He stopped 64 of the last 65 shots at him in the last 2 games.
That's hot. Here's Murphy to Sundin. Time ticking down. Hogue centered it back. That shot got through and is blocked by Dave Manson and cleared out of there. That kills off the penalty against Winnipeg. There is no score, and the Leafs had 3 shots on goal. You saw where Potvin ended up in the seat of his pants. Murphy steps up now and fed it on to Hogue. Right side, but too far for Mobesso. Bobby Bullen mishandled it. It's centered out in front. Sundin battling. Bobby Bullen back into the goal crease, and the Jets out of trouble. On a straight with the lead pass. Here's Solani onto Olchuk's stick, and it's knocked away from him. And Olchuk has been real hot also for Winnipeg in the last couple of games. Ball gets into the Jet zone with a high shot. Rebound bouncing away from Randy Wood as he motored in, and now Solani comes to center ice. Outside his head, Olchuk shoots. And the stop, and the rebound is cleared away. Mike Craig moves it out. This is Randy Wood over the Winnipeg line. Up ahead was Hendrickson, so that puts the whole thing offside. Well, Winnipeg's been under pressure, but nobody has scored yet.
From the best of the blues to the best of soul. From the best of rock to the best of modern rock. It's all inside the Best of Music guidebooks. Free inside specially marked 2/4s of Molson Dry. No purchase necessary. Must be of legal drinking age. Each of the 4 books is full of insights into major artists, their work, and best recordings. Look for your guide. Free inside.
Okay, I'm the new kid on the block. Mr. Duracell? Mr. Energizer?
You think you're better than me?
I'm long-lasting too, and I've got more. Up to 25 times more life in me. All I need is a quick boost.
Hey, Duracell, Energizer, Pure Energy is here. Canada's first mercury-free alkaline battery that's rechargeable.
Whoa!
Your energy!
Whew, we got a live one here.
Bobby Bullen's had 5 shots at him, 2 of them difficult saves. He has a little trouble here out of the net as he fans on the clearing shot, and the Leafs nearly get a chance to throw it in the open net. Potvin wanting to make things even, comes out of the net, and then look at the dance he undertakes here, and down he goes. But both goalies get away with mistakes on their skates.
We played 3.5 minutes of the opening period at Winnipeg. He's changing up following the draw. McCowan has been replaced. Ellett and Todd Gill together on defense. Mike Hudson back in the lineup tonight, centering for this unit. Features Baumgartner on one side and Domi on the other. We'll get an icing call against the Leafs.
Well, as Paul mentioned in the opening, Ty Domi is playing his first game back here in Winnipeg since becoming a Maple Leaf. He played 170 games for the Jets, not one like the other one. And he leads the Toronto Maple Leafs teams now with 98 minutes in penalties and is second in the National League. It'll be interesting to see how he takes this game against his former mates. There's been lots of talk around Winnipeg that he made some enemies on this team. Will they stand up and be counted, or will Ty make them stand up and be counted? Stay tuned. We'll be watching him all evening.
Indeed we will. Here's Mike Hudson on the drop. It's won by Jamdov to Manson, who fires from the point and didn't get it through. Hudson was being tied up by Jamdov. Orlev. Jamdov kicks it back toward the point. This is Orlev. In deeper. Wait for Shannon and just overled him. That was Aaron Shannon who was headed for the front of the net. Now Yushkevich up to Domi. Jumps away from him. Racing waved off. Dave Manson uses the boards. There's Orlev. Jamdov. Pulled it away from his teammate Quint, and now carries it over center ice. That's a Jamdov cutting to the left side. And Shannon headed for the net again. This time Korolev shoots. Yushkevich is there to recover. Gilmore goes to the corner, frees it up with Ty Domi. Luminen on him, and the puck popped loose for Dmitry Yushkevich. Over that Winnipeg line, only to be checked. Able to recover and dump it in deep, and Domi has to get back on side here. Both teams changing up. The game is scoreless at the Winnipeg Arena. Harry Murphy at the blue line. Long lead pass, too far for Doug Gilmore. Jets continue to make their changes. Getting Chris King out there now, along with Doan and Turcotte. There's Murphy on the rush. Fires from center ice. Big kick save, and the puck came right back to Hobby Bullen. And Andrechuk trying to work it along the boards. It's knocked away. 2-on-2 at center ice with a lead pass. It's too far for King. Harry Murphy clears the zone, and Darren Turcotte takes over for Winnipeg. That's to Valakunas. To Turcotte. Got away from Gartner. Fires. Been going wide. Potvin got a chunk of it anyway. Johnson got a chunk of Chris King, and Murphy handles the puck. Down the boards. Valakunas have pinched in, and the Leafs are able to clear it out of there. Right, 5 minutes and 45 seconds of the opening period at Winnipeg. Big hit for Messel and King. Off to Darren Shannon, and it's dumped in. I've got something to cheer about there. No score on the board at Winnipeg as we watch Benoit Hogue. Nice move on Manson. Touch to the net. Checked on the play by Quint. Manson is tripped up from behind, and a penalty call coming on Sergio Momesso. The Jets get an opportunity on the power play at Winnipeg right after this.
Being one self-styled expressionist, punctuating the ordinary, searching innermost pockets for your ID, detecting the truthfulness necessary to unapologetically say, this is the way I am.
Momesso, look at him looking at the puck. Watch what happened. Chris King, one of the better body-checking forwards in the league. And then Momesso takes a penalty as he hooks David Manson from behind, 193 feet from his own net.
Now we watch the Winnipeg power play go to work. 21 power play goals and 122 chances. Works out to 17.2%. They're 0 for 10 this season against the Leafs. An advantage.
They have a power play group that loves to make the perfect play, the one that looks great. If they just shot the puck more, they'd be more successful.
And Olchuk on the power play, fed it back to Jamnov. Olchuk into the corner. Orlev to Jamnov. Here's Newman with a shot to change direction. Emo Solani to Igor Korolev. To Jamnov. Pulls it back. Orlev sets up Newman to Solani and scores!
Well, there they combined about 4 lovely passes. There's 1. Here's 2 coming up here. 3, and then whammo. So they got the play to the man Solani, who had some free space, and he made no mistake. Potvin had to come across the net from his left to his right, and in doing so, there was a hole between his pads, and Timo Solani scores his 13th of the year on the power play.
6:46 into the opening period. 1-0 Winnipeg. 1 shot on the power play, but a beaut. He's in full strength again as we watch Randy Wood dish it down the boards. Aaron Quinn chasing it for the Jets. Ian Manson in the defensive pair. Manson moved it on to the right side, and Ronan gets it out to center. And here's Darby Hendrickson shooting it right back in again. Manson carries it back to the Winnipeg goal before giving it to Ronan. Now to Mike Eastwood, turns it over to Mike Gray. Gray through a screen, Hobby Bullet diving to block that. Wood knocks it out of the air. Hendrickson trying to get it back to Randy Wood. Now Mike Gray goes to the puck. Witt moves it out towards center ice. Odd man rush for Winnipeg. Eastwood to Ronan on left wing. And Ronan looks for somebody in front as he rounded the net. And turns it in deeper, and there's Jimmy McKenzie. Craig is on him. Picks up a little bit, but McKenzie controls the puck. Deeper to Eastwood. Ronan cruising back to that Leaf goal. Craig moves over, and the puck goes off the glass. Daryl Shannon, excuse me. He's the right point man here with Valgudas on the left. Dmitry Yushkevich turns it around the boards. That's going all the way down the ice. Goal here by Shannon. Daryl Shannon's shot hits the stick and ends up in the seats. Winnipeg on a power play goal have taken a 1-0 lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs.
If you're trying to decide how much power you need, how much speed, if you're trying to decide how many megabytes or gigabytes, and if you're trying to decide what's the right price to pay, there's only one decision to make. Computer City. where you'll get Symantec's Norton Antivirus with continuous antivirus protection for Windows 95, or the Epson Stylus Color 2 inkjet printer, ideal for charts, graphs, and vivid graphics. Computer City. You can't make a wrong decision when you go to the right store.
Uncle Scrooge, how merry to have you with us. Ah, now, there must be something that can make you happy.
I do see two things.
You mean the Hoover Steam Vac carpet cleaner I got for only $219.99. And this Bionaire air purifier was only $129.99. Plus, I got triple Canadian Tire money, all triple options points.
Very frugal.
Well, we are related.
Let's keep that our little secret.
Okay, Canadian Tire lets you give like Santa and save like Scrooge.
The closed captioning of this period is brought to you by Regal Capital Planners, over 25 years helping Canadians reach financial independence.
Well, we showed you in the opening the hit that Maltby threw on Tkachuk Sunday night. Ed Ronan is dressing in his place. Tkachuk warmed up, but evidently didn't feel good enough to play. He had a slight concussion, and he's out for the night, and Ronan's in.
And the Jets with a 1-0 lead. They've won 3 in a row on home ice. Gilmore into forecheck, outlet, this left side, and Finley's pass to Jamnoff, who's across two lines, obviously offside call. 11 minutes, 27 seconds remaining in this first period.
Well, Ty's been pretty quiet so far. The Leaf-Jets series this year, the Leafs have won both games. They've outscored the Jets 6-3, 3 power play goals. Hogue and Murphy have 3 points apiece in those 2 games. Korolev and Jamnoff have 2 points apiece for the Jets. Terry Simpson, 18, 16, and 3 is the Jet coach, and he had stops on the island with Hugh Jiggs and in Philadelphia before he got here. The Winnipeg, a classy guy who's doing a wonderful job with this Jet team, especially under the circumstances of not knowing where they're going to play next year.
Everybody's not talking about that. You approach anybody with this Winnipeg Jets team and they say, oh, that's behind us. We all know we're moving. Anybody with children, well, that's just one of those things, the nature of the business. If you're in some other form of a job, you can be transferred at any time. That's the way they're handling things here.
Well, Khabibulin 0-3-1 against the Leafs, although he has a 10-5-0 record this year. And as you mentioned, this is his 15th consecutive start. And Tim Cheveldae, the other goalie, has not had much work at all, has played in only 7 games, but as he said in the paper here, I don't blame him for playing Khabibulin. He's the best goalie in the league at the moment, which is quite a compliment from the guy who's not playing.
Sure is. Ty Domi digs it out of the corner, sets up Murphy at the point, through a screen and turned aside. That's Chris King, the former Peterborough Pete, clearing it out. And all the way down where Murphy gathers it in, on to Ty Domi. Well, he floated it wide. Khabibulin has it in the catching glove and then dropped it off. Yeah, Finley didn't get it out. Johnson got it in deep. Gilmore at the side of the net. Gilmore is centering for Andrechuk and Domi as we watch Turcotte lead the rush for Winnipeg. Checked at the leaf line, but it went right through, and then a big hit by Janssen. Able to knock Shane Doan off the puck. Got Gilmore. Nice move on King, and then dumps it in. It's right at the end of a long shift for the Leafs. This is Dave Manson. Weak little pass, but it did arrive for Doan. Now he gets a chance to get a rest. Todd Gill starts the play for the Leafs with a pass to Matt Sundin. Off the boards. Up to Hogue as it turns out. Kalani unable to set up Dallas Drake. Drake able to keep the puck in the Leaf zone. That's Quint with a shot that changed direction. Skavich gets double teamed. Dallas Drake trying to dig it out of the corner. Now the Leafs start out. Sundin steps over center ice. Working on Manson. Tried inside, outside. Nothing worked, but the puck goes to Hogue. And he turns it over. Here's Solani. Hogue bumped him off the puck. On comes Drake. Shoots, pad, save. The rebound by Olchuk went wide of the net. Hogue fed the left side. Momesso to Sundin, who can't get through center ice. This is Hogue. Gill, and now to Sundin. Dumps it in, and the Leafs will get a player change here. Past the midway point of the opening period, it's 1-0 Winnipeg on a power play goal. Korolev chasing the puck into the Toronto zone. Jamie McCowan backboard, off to Mike Cray. Up the middle goes Wood. On to Hendrickson, shoots just wide. Wood with the rebound, and is that by Khabibulin from a bad angle. Jamnoff leaves it back of the net. And the Jets attempt to dump it down the ice. We're going to get a whistle for icing here as McCowan touches up. The power play goal at 6:46 in the opening period. The only thing on the board so far.
I really don't need these glasses. I just use them for seeing.
Thursday for one time only. See Kelsey Grammer and Jack Benny together on stage.
Oh, now cut that out.
In a special tribute to a comedy genius with the help of Jay Leno, Phil Hartman, and Dan Aykroyd. Don't miss Kelsey Grammer salutes Jack Benny. Thursday at 10 on CHTV 11.
Eat softly while you're learning. Not so loud, my stomach's turning.
The human face, a landscape, difficult terrain where certain hairs grow taller, longer. Introducing a revolutionary 3-stage shaving system, Braun Flex Integral. The first foil removes short hairs. An integrated cutter shaves longer hairs. Then the second foil completes the job. New Flex Integral for Braun's closest shave yet. Braun, the world's most recognized shave.
Well, it's a sad commentary. 8,500 fans on hand at this game, but not a bad place to write a book. And the author of Local Heroes, Winnipeg author Richard Lapp, on hand at tonight's game, and also writing a book on the Memorial Cup. Pretty quiet up here for you, Richard.
Yeah, it's a good place where I can put my thoughts together and sort of escape and put the words together. And doing a book on the Memorial Cup, and I'm busy at it, and I can do this with less people around. That's one advantage. But I'm going to miss the Jets next year, though.
Yes, you're going to miss the Jets, and the building will be permanently empty. It's a sad state of our hockey affairs in this town, isn't it?
Yeah, because Winnipeg's been the real capital back in the 30s and 40s. A lot of the Memorial Cup teams are coming out of here, and it's really a hockey hotbed. And it's too bad we got to lose the NHL, but that's the way it goes. It's going to the States.
Author Richard Lapp. Let's go back upstairs to Jigs and Harry.
Thanks, Paul. I saw Richard up there before the game started, Harry, and wondered if it was Bob Uecker. We couldn't really see from here, but he got Bob Uecker's seat, didn't he? Nice pad save by Hobby Bullen, but referee Paul Dvorsky has spotted an interference and called a penalty on the play.
Well, there's been a 34% increase in restraining penalties this year with the new philosophy on guys without the puck. And Eastwood's going to get it right here on Anderchuk as he holds him up and holds him up and holds him up, and Anderchuk can't get to the net. Last year, 7.1 penalties, or this year, 7.1 penalties per game on restraining calls. Last year, 4.7.
Wow.
Are they making any progress in getting the guys to stop? I think they are. Dvorsky made the call, and that was an easy one to make. Anderchuk couldn't get where he wanted to go. He never did touch the puck after the draws. The Leafs power play 0 for 1 on the one opportunity they've had tonight.
They started out here with Gartner, Gilmore, and Andrechuk up front, but that's Jamnoff firing at the other end of the ice. As Harry told you, Winnipeg very dangerous. They have 6 short-handed goals. Hansen forces it down and on into the seats deep in the Toronto zone. Well, the Leafs have been here for a while. You've been here for a while. What do you do with time in your hands in Winnipeg, Harry?
I do a lot of reading. And
not yesterday.
Yes, we went bowling yesterday with the kids. And there's my score there.
No, this is the coaches and the media.
We played the Leaf coaching staff and
Kitchen, Wammer, Pat Burns, 123, huh? And
Casey, right? And there's us. I got an 83. I had a good.
What?
But Jigs, you know what happened on that?
No,
they
what?
didn't tell me till halfway through the second game what those holes in the ball were for.
Harry, 83? I don't think we'll see you on Wide World of Sport, will we?
You certainly won't see me on Bowling for Dollars.
83?
I'm so happy that we lost 2 straight and didn't go 3. And I'm so happy my partners had to pay $35 each. I'm losing.
Treated the coaches to dinner, huh?
Yes, we did. It was a nice outing. And it proves that well-rounded an athlete as I am, there are a few sports I'm not very good at.
But the Leaf coaching staff, obviously very good. 1 minute and 2 seconds left in this Toronto power play. It's produced 1 shot on goal. Looking for the equalizer. Gartner can't get around. A nice defensive move of Daryl Shannon.
He was lucky, Jigs. He played the puck and won. And if Gartner had got that puck by him, he couldn't have turned in time to watch Gartner score.
Now 42 seconds in the man advantage. Harry Murphy worked it to Gilmore. Around the end board, Tommy Bullen having a little trouble with it. Comes back to Murphy at the right point. Through a screen, and that's tipped wide. Gilmore reached, but Findlay is there to clear. Didn't get it out. Allen's shot hit Shannon.
King picks up Habby Boolin's stick and brings it back to him, and Habby won't look at him. Ah, there it is.
Thank you very much. Now Dave Ellett at the left point. Got his shot blocked. Omesso went right to Daryl Shannon. Puck is on Gartner's stick for a drive. Habby Bullen the save and no further play.
Well, certainly some good opportunities in that power play, and one thing the Leafs have done fairly well tonight is tried hard to recover loose pucks, which is an important ingredient of any power play, and they nearly scored after doing it on that one. The Winnipeg Jets have an atrocious schedule. This is the second game of 5 home games in 8 nights, all against conference opponents. And that is the most home games in the shortest space of time of any team in the National Hockey League. Here's the power play and the recovery of a loose puck that I'm talking about. The best seat here is $55, so if you bought 2 of them, it's $110 a game. In 1 week, you'd have spent $550 on tickets only. Atrocious scheduling by the NHL. Tough on the marketing and ticket department of the Jets. And on a team that is an orphan team and not going to be here next year, an unfair situation in my books.
Yeah, a lot of teams, not just Terry Simpson's squad here in Winnipeg, but a lot of teams expressing concern about this 95-96 schedule.
Well, this is not a rink like many of the rinks that have a basketball team and have college basketball, and there are not a lot of dates. There's Mr. Shankro, who's the entrepreneur that's selling this team to a group wherever they take it. But this is an unfair 3 weeks before Christmas. That's why they got 8,500 fans here. Who can afford to throw out that kind of money if you're a big-time fan? And they're all conference games, and 8,500 for the Leafs in Winnipeg is a tragedy.
It really is. Just under 7 minutes to play in the first period, and the penalty to Eastwood is over. The Leafs had 3 shots on the power play. Still 1-0 Winnipeg. Here's Dave Manson. Bob Drake's stick, cleared right back by McCown. Wentz was there to cover at the Winnipeg line, gave it away. Momesso to Hogue, and it was rolling on him. Benoit couldn't shoot it. Now McCown moving it back to Ellett, off his stick, and a chance for Dallas Drake with a backhander that didn't get to the net. Now and reaching around Olchuk. There's Momesso. And it's frozen on the boards, held there for the face-off.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
Winnipeg making some late changes as you look at Dave Ellett, another former Winnipeg Jet.
Dave Ellett trying to control a bouncing puck and can't. The Jets get a good opportunity to score. A nice play by McCowan to come over and block the shot.
Momesso guides it out of the Leaf zone. Back on it is Darren Quint, the 19-year-old. Lofted it off the glass. It ends up in the Toronto zone where Todd Gill is standing. Momesso knocked it away from Korolev. Here's Hogue across the line after accepting Sundin's pass. Gave it back to Sundin, who ends up on the deck. Sundin with the puck underneath him. Hogue digs it loose. Didn't get it to Sundin. Jets using the board. Shannon gave it away, and Wood promptly puts it right back in deep. 5.5 minutes to play in the opening period at Winnipeg. I'm Dick McDonald with Harry Neal, Paul Hedrick, Gord Stelling with us again tonight. We watched the Winnipeg Jets set up in their own zone. It's Darren Quint. And Gill knocked it out of the air. 2 Leafs divided right at the bench. That has the crowd abuzz. Craig and Wood.
Wood took Craig into the bench. The door's closed.
Everything is sorted out. We'll have Numanen dump it down the ice. That's an icing against Winnipeg.
Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs are 7-0-4 against conference opponents. The only undefeated team against teams in their own conference at the moment. They're trailing 1-0 with 5:02 to go here And here's the collision here by Wood and his line mate Craig as they are trying to give Quint a baptism, and this is it. When they look at, I hope they're not roommates.
Leafs head right out of here after tonight's game. We'll be in Philadelphia on Thursday night and then home against Anaheim on Saturday. As Harry was pointing out, this long home stretch for Winnipeg. They've got the St. Louis Blues coming in here on Thursday night.
Must be pandemonium in St. Louis. They can't win a home game.
Not only can't win, got shut out last night, 2-0. Hudson on the draw there against Eastwood. Mike Hudson leads it for Ken Baumgartner. Hudson trying to work his way out of the corner, gave it to Ty Domi. Turned on Numanen, but the puck stayed there for Mike Hudson. Hudson on a backhander that's blocked. This is Jeff Finley. Finley on to Mike Eastwood. Over the Toronto line. And Ronan gets it in deeper. Eastwood back to Ronan, but outside the line. Numanen in a race as Ty Domi is right with him. Now Finley on the far side of the ice. Looks for somebody to give it to. Got better of it, dumped it in, and Ellett takes it back of the net. Through some traffic and out towards center ice. Valgunas gets back. Leafs in the middle of a change. Here's McKenzie across the Toronto line to Eastwood. He was checked by Hudson. Bringing it back. And Janssen, he's all the way into the Winnipeg zone and then tucks it into the corner. Battling one off the glass here that went to Andrechuk. And move it back to Murphy. Went to Gilmore to Andrechuk. He shoots. That was blocked in front. Valgunas felt the full force of that shot. Puck stays in the zone for Gilmore. The Domi. Turcotte went to him. Jets will get it out of there. Murphy waiting at center ice. On to Andrechuk. To Gilmore. Hard around the boards. Gartner over on left wing now pinches in. Andrechuk and Janssen there as well. Doan battling, as is Turcotte for the Jets. Turcotte kicked it to Andrechuk. Couldn't get it to the corner. Shannon, after blocking it, clears it out, and here's McKenzie to Turcotte. Shot blocked, and Turcotte went right into Janssen. Murphy goes for the loose puck. Just over 3 minutes to play in the opening period. Winnipeg on a power play goal, leading this by a score of 1-0. Dave Manson clears it to center ice. Yushkevich now to Gartner. Back into Gill. Dmitry Yushkevich to Gilmore, went off his stick. Captain of the Leafs recovers, comes down the left side, but won't have time to go anywhere. A penalty back of the play. Todd Gill now challenging King at the bench, and we'll be right back.
They're in the shapes of little portals, and when you walk, they bark.
Shopping for the holidays? Come to Wendy's for a Monterey Ranch chicken sandwich. It's a seasoned whole breast filet, processed Monterey Jack, and ranch dressing with bacon. At least you'll get one thing you like this holiday.
Please listen very carefully for the next 96 hours only at Heritage Ford. Get a brand new Ford truck or minivan priced at $500 below actual factory invoice. Plus, every new 96-passenger car, even Taurus, is slashed to the absolute bottom line for final sale. Hurry to Heritage Ford, 2660 Kingston Road, Scarborough.
Welcome back to the Winnipeg Arena. The Jets with a 1-0 lead, and they're going to the power play again.
Todd Gill with this neutral zone hook may have saved Gilmore's life because Chris King had Gilmore in his bomb sights, and I'm not sure Gilmore could have avoided him. So that penalty may be one that Gilmore, when he looks at the replay, sends a thank you note to Mr. Gill.
Now we watch this Winnipeg power play set up. And off to Korolev, hard around the boards. Olchuk in after it, but Potvin to play it here. Skies it through to Randy Wood. It's Wood and Hogue up front. McCowan and Ellett on defense. Two Jets hanging at the Toronto blue line as the outlet went to the right side, and Korolev dropped it right back. Numanen has dumped it in. And Potvin will play it. This This time it's gathered in by Ed Olchuk. Former Leaf gave it away. Teammates converge and can't keep it in at the blue line. Hands off to Solani. He has the only goal in tonight's game, Timo. Gilmore's helmet gets popped off on that hit. There's going to be a penalty against the Winnipeg Jets. Igor Korolev turns, looks at the referee. Gilmore goes for the helmet. And we'll go to 4-on-4 hockey.
Well, you can see Gilmore, like a lot of NHL players, doesn't do his helmet strap up, so his hat jumped off his head on an unsuspecting body check here as Korolev jumped at Gilmore when Gilmore was going to take him out, and he called it elbowing. Here's another look right here. Fans didn't agree at all with Mr. Dvorsky's call there, so for a minute and 2 left in Gil's penalty, we have 4-on-4. Winnipeg has scored twice and been scored on once. 4-on-4 this year. The Leafs have scored 3 times and have had 4 against them under these circumstances. I have a quiz for you, Jig. I'm going to give you a little time. There's only one player who's been in the top 10 NHL scorers in every one of the last 6 years. Who is it? Don't have to answer me now. Just take your time, think a little bit about it. I'll give you till the next period.
In top 10 each of the last 6 years.
Yes, there's only been one.
Yeah.
And if somebody phones in with the right answer, you get a free weekend at Shea Jigs in Fort Lauderdale, Florida.
Here's Ellett. That changed direction. Gilmore being bounced around in front of the net. The puck came to the net, and Numminen was there. The right side. Ronnie is over the line. Pass to Numminen. Cuts in and scores!
Well, in 4-on-4 hockey, often the most dangerous player offensively is one of the 2 defensemen that jump into the rush. And here's a good example of what I'm talking about right here. A 3-man rush that is not read very well at all by the Leafs, and Ellett cannot get a turn to stop Numminen going to the net. You have to call out your coverage, and the Leafs didn't do it, and they got a little confused. By the time they sorted it out, it was in the net.
The goal at 18-17. Teppo Numminen's 4th of the season. 2-0 Winnipeg. Both rocked it off. Here's Sundin with a blast that misses. Pulled in by McCowan. Both was there but couldn't hold on to the puck, and Dallas Drake steps over the Leaf line. Shoots! That may have caught Huntman's catching glove. Oh, down the left side, into the Winnipeg territory with a burst of speed, and his shot went well wide of the net. Rebounds all the way out to center. Turcotte fed it off, and here's Dallas Drake. Huntman equal to that long-distance test. Turcotte parks at the Leaf line, only being checked, and Numminen drops back. Less than a minute to go in this opening period. Winnipeg with a 2-0 lead. Now Gill is out of the penalty box, so the Leafs find themselves with a man advantage. Harry Murphy starts from back of the net. Ian Johnson on the point. The pass to Gilmore. He's into the Winnipeg zone, but ran into Finlay, and the Leafs have to chase it and don't do a very good job before Potvin got out. Moved it on to Kenny Johnson.
Potvin was fortunate. He shot the puck against the low glass and just about went over.
Gilmore with a pass off Andrechuk's skates and offside as well at the Jet line.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets are one of the quicker teams in the National League, especially the first 2 forward lines they can put out there when they're healthy, and they move the puck well too. So when you get the players moving and the puck moving, and we all know, Jigs, the puck is the fastest guy in the rink. It never gets tired, and when it gets slightly injured, they put a new puck in there. So more teams should move the puck quicker. It would make the team speed increase. And the Winnipeg Jets, especially the Solani line, they do that. They're fast, they move the puck fast, and so they're even quicker.
I got to do this fast because time's running out in this period. I'm thinking of the music group, Paul and Oates and Adam Oates. Is Adam Oates right, Harry?
You're right. You get the weekend at Shea Jigs.
Thank you. All expenses
You
paid.
looked it up, though.
Oh. Gartner from center ice. Hobby Bullen way up atop the goal crease. Blocked that as the horn sounds, ending the opening period. So the Jets using the power play and a 4-on-4 goal. Into the dressing room with a 2-0 lead over the Toronto Maple Leafs at the end of one period of play.
What's so new about new Speed Stick Clear deodorant? Take a look at this gel. See? It's wet and sticky. And mine, it goes on dry.
New Speed Stick Clear. It's more than clear. It's clearly dry.
By Menon. Hey, I'll take dry any day.
Some run. Some swim. Some jump. But only one Olympic team will lift, pack, and ship their way to Atlanta from around the globe. At UPS, we're guaranteeing delivery of everything from athletic equipment to the telecommunications equipment that will help bring the games to the world. It's our way of helping Canada's athletes deliver bronze, silver, and gold.
Did my folks get to Disney World okay? I still can't believe they went by themselves. They're getting so weird.
I think it's cute.
Yeah, but you know how they are. Dad will bury his nose in a book. The mom will spend half the day just sitting around. Can't you picture it? They'll have dinner in front of the TV, and by 10 they'll be dead on their feet.
You're awful.
Hey, I love them. But right now, I bet they're thinking, gosh, this place just isn't the same without the kids.
Walt Disney World, the one place we're all the same inside.
No matter what you drive, and no matter when you drive it, from extreme cold to extreme heat, count on Delco batteries. Dependable power.
The Winnipeg Jets lead the Toronto Maple Leafs after one period of play. Of course, last time when the Leafs took on the Winnipeg Jets, it was the last game that Matt Sundin had to miss due to injury. Certainly tonight with the Leafs trailing 2-0, they're going to need some offense. Very happy to have their points leader back in the lineup, and he is joining our own Paul Hendrick right now.
Well, Matt, the Jets with 2 losses against the Leafs this season, but they've come out firing tonight, obviously playing with passion. Speed kills, and they've been quick.
Yeah, they've been capitalizing on their power play. We got to come back now. We're down 2-0, and it's 40 minutes to play, and we can play a lot better hockey than we've done so far.
You've played in 390 NHL games, just 10 away from 400. How has your game as a player changed dating back to your first year with Quebec 6 seasons ago?
Well, I've grown a lot. I was 18 when I broke into the league, and hopefully I'm a lot more mature now, and hopefully we can just keep getting better here the next few years.
All right, we'll give you a chance to catch your breath. Best of luck.
Thanks.
Matt Sundin back inside the studio to Gord Stellick.
Thanks very much, Paul. Well, you talk about offense, Dave Andrechuk, another guy the Leafs look to provide that. From Hamilton to his junior hockey in Oshawa, NHL in Buffalo and Toronto. He's moved around, but not that far, really. Ken Welch had a chance to catch up to the Hamilton hometown boy.
The city of Hamilton is famous for its steel and famous for its football. You would like to be famous for an NHL franchise, but that might never happen. But while Cubs Coliseum lies empty, a Hamiltonian has been filling the nets in
Shell has asked me to tell you about some of the barriers they've broken for gasoline performance. They were the first to blend gasoline for better mileage. They were also the first to introduce a unique spark-enhancing formula. Today, they're introducing new Formula Shell Gold. It's designed to clean up your engine for better performance and power.
New Formula Shell Gold, helping you go further.
You've got that magic touch.
Sometimes, babies like Jamie here need a little help at first. The kind of help that, well, you're just glad it's there. Last year, over $510 million in lottery proceeds went to help Ontario hospitals and babies like Jamie. You can't always see it, but the Ontario Lottery Corporation touches us all.
That magic touch. Come on now, touch me, babe. Can't you see
The Doors' greatest hits.
Like a dog without
Rediscover The Doors on CD with more hits and previously unavailable material.
Hello, I love you, won't you tell me your name? Let it roll, baby, roll. Come on, baby, let go.
For the first time ever on one CD, The Doors' greatest hits. In stores now.
Okay, I'm the new kid on the block. Mr. Duracell? Mr. Energizer?
You think you're better than me?
I'm long-lasting too, and I've got more. Up to 25 times more life in me. All I need is a quick boost.
Hey, Duracell, Energizer, Pure Energy is here. Canada's first mercury-free alkaline battery that's rechargeable.
Whoa! Pure energy!
Whew, we got a live one here.
What's so new about new Speed Stick Clear deodorant? Take a look at this gel. See? It's wet and sticky. And mine, it goes on dry.
New Speed Stick Clear. It's more than clear. It's clearly dry.
By Menon.
Hey, I'll take dry any day.
There's a move.
Toward milk.
A move pouring down.
Pouring down. A turn.
A turn.
A turn toward milk.
So fresh.
So cool.
There's a move towards milk.
There's a move towards milk. This way.
This way.
This way to milk.
Energy.
Plus 15 essential nutrients.
So, how's Harvey's New Mexican burger?
Translation, fabulous.
Spicy, exotic.
Heady? Heavenly.
What's on it again?
That would be your famous Harvey's charbroiled hamburger, processed Monterey Jack cheese, and chunky Mexican salsa for just $1.99.
Lend me $2.
He says no problem.
Right?
Harvey's, we've got your taste.
Harvey's New Mexi burger. Only $1.99.
Everybody is changing. Can I bank?
Well, these old shoes got a long, long way. When the sun goes down.
Hi, Santa. This is what I want for Christmas this year. I like getting toys. I love all the food. But I hear some people don't have a Christmas. I don't think that's very fair. Can you help?
Time now to take a look at our NHL out-of-town scores. Dave Allison's Ottawa Senators, a tough time tonight, losing 5-0 to the Pittsburgh Penguins. Colorado Avalanche putting a shellacking 5-1 now over the New York Islanders. And in Detroit, Mathieu Dandino is third of the year as Detroit leads Montreal 2-1, just underway, Chicago and Edmonton. Here in Winnipeg, the Jets have a 2-0 lead after one period of play. The teams are heading back to the ice. We'll be back with the second period of action.
Lock it up, please.
And action! Cut! Better! Cue the announcer.
Introducing Movie Theater Butter Light from Red & Butters.
Now cut! Much better! Cut! Lovely!
The beauty of it is what we took out and what we left in.
Oh!
Oh, yes, I love it. Keep it.
New Red and Butter's Movie Theater Butter Light Popcorn.
That's a take.
They came from Canada to discover the fine art of French winemaking. They gained a few hints and a whole new perspective to create a masterpiece called L'Ambiance. The New World wine made the Old World way.
What are you looking at?
No good.
The Spumante Bambino bubble test. Only the best bubbles make it.
Here we have an interesting example of a promise, in that it's actually being kept. Over the past year, Bell has dropped long-distance rates substantially. They've introduced plans to save both residential customers and business customers even more money. And they offer prices that are really quite competitive. This is one of those rare promises that actually thrive under scrutiny. Keep your eyes open for it.
Timex with Indiglo Nightlight. Now in a wide range of women's styles.
Maybe the youngest Leaf fan here tonight. They do start them young, don't they? Probably a draft pick, what, 2014 here?
2014, right. A lot of Leaf fans here tonight, if you take a look at the Leaf sweaters, hats, t-shirts, etc. But there are more empty seats than any.
The Leafs empty after 17 shots on goal in that opening period, trailing 2-0 at Winnipeg. By Domi battling for the puck, put it out in front. Couldn't get it to a teammate. Andrechuk knocks a man off the puck. And Ellen, who had started in, sees it slide all the way down into the Toronto zone. Felix Potvin gave it away, but is able to reel it back in. Ellen off the boards behind Domi. Subban dumps it right back into the Leaf zone. And that's from his own side of center ice, so an icing call is made. The opening period summary is brought to you by Pure Energy, rechargeable alkaline batteries. Solani's goal on the power play was at 6:46. Numminen and Korolev assisting, as you see, and then Tempo Numminen 4-on-4 goals set up by Solani in 18-17. 2-0 Winnipeg, 17-9. The shots favoring the Leafs.
Well, Ty Domi's been pretty peaceful tonight. These two guys came over from the Rangers to Winnipeg, and King gives Domi a little tap, and Domi responds with a little friendly slash across the legs. When leading after the first period, the Jets are 5-1-2. When trailing after the first period, the Leafs are 0-4-2.
Not a good omen.
Not a good omen is right. If you are cheering for the Leafs. However, they haven't been outplayed 2-0. They've just been outscored 2-0.
Here's Shamgar. Didn't get totally around Yushkevich. Fans thought there should have been a penalty call, none made. And it's Benoit Hogue playing it off Shamgar's legs. Up steps Momesso. At the Winnipeg line, Hogue feeds the right side. Sundin shoots, beaten by Javi Bulin. 2-0 Winnipeg. Korolev took that hard pass off his skate.
And then he just took one off his shoulder.
Wow, Keystone Cops play hockey, huh? On comes Yushkevich for the Leafs. Knocked into the boards by Manson's check. Sundin watched it go back to the net all the way toward the point, but not in time for Todd Gill. Up off the boards with that pass. Shannon can't beat Korolev in time. Two Shannon brothers in deep. Hot hand without a goal stick at the moment. Momesso has moved it on, and it's 2-on-2 at center ice. Todd Gill jumps up. Hogue drops it back. That's Sundin to Benoit Hogue in deep. Puts it in front off a teammate and right to Solani. An odd man rush. 2-on-1. Drake takes the pass. Holds it dead center. Nice block by Dave Allen. Bodies tumbling all over the place in that Leaf zone. Hogue carrying it out towards center ice. Earl Shannon for Winnipeg to Dallas Drake to Teemu Solani. Now Ed Olchuk ends up with the boards, put it right out in front. Shot from the point comes through, and Potvin makes a dazzling stop off Ed Olczyk. He nudging it loose, but Allen is there, and around to Todd Gill, up to Gardner. Sidestep Balgunas check, and the Jets recover at center ice. Here's Solani over the line. Olczyk to the front of the net. The pass blocked by Allen. On to McCowan. Right side to Randy Wood. Hendrickson's battling the line as Wood shoots Hobby Bull in the slot. You can hear the leather pop on that drive. Wood trying to dig it out of the corner. Knocked off balance. Errol Shannon for the Jets got checked. It came right out in front, but here's Timo Solani. Solani over center, dumps it in, and now we'll go for a rest. Eastwood into forecheck. Dave Ellett, after the exchange with Potvin, has given it to McCowan. Bergen has heard a whistle.
We didn't. He jumped into one of the worst songs I've ever heard. What'd you name that too? Whistling in the Dark, I think was the name.
Hendrickson to Gardner, off his skates at center ice. Finley got checked and now quickly goes back to recover for Winnipeg. And Finley, formerly with Philadelphia, originally with the New York Islanders, and a takedown will cost the Toronto Maple Leafs. A penalty call to be made, and another power play coming up for the Winnipeg Jets, who already have taken a 2-0 lead in this game.
Here we have an interesting example of a promise in that it's actually being kept. Over the past year, Bell has dropped long-distance rates substantially. They've introduced plans to save both residential customers and business customers even more money. And they offer prices that are really quite competitive. This is one of those rare promises that actually thrive under scrutiny. Keep your eyes open for it.
Mike Craig takes a penalty right here. Not a smart one, to say the least. And here's the play by Hogue. Sometimes centering the puck to nobody is a mistake because it results in a 2-on-1. Watch Sundin come barreling back as fast as he can, and a lovely play by Dave Ellett, who gambled and went down but prevented the pass across.
Now the Jets setting up in the power play. Solani to Jamdov for a shot. That went rattling off Olczyk. Back to Jamdov. Quick pass. Numanen moves it on, and it got away from Solani. Numanen covering the left point. Using the boards. Timo Solani to Jamdov at the point. Into Korolev. Jamdov has jumped in. Here's Solani with the puck. Held it, then centered. Korolev shot off McCowan's stick. Gilmore trying to move it up the boards. Backed up now by Ellett. Gilmore had it covered and actually had his hand on it.
Well, it's a dangerous practice because if you put your hand on it, you might get a penalty, but worse than that, the opponent may chop your hand. Eddie Olczyk, who's played quite well recently, last 5 games, 4 goals, 3 assists for 7 points, is parked right in front of Felix Potvin. He got a goal on the tip-in Sunday night against Edmonton from right there, but you pay the price if you're going to stand there in this league.
Now 1 minute 25 seconds left in Mike Craig's tripping penalty. Edwall Hogue taking the draw against Ed Olczyk. Randy Wood stepped up on Korolev, but it's Solani with it, and Ellett goes to him. Now Olczyk feeds the blue line. Numanen to Jamdov. One-timed it wide. Solani goes to the corner. Back to Numanen. Jamdov fires and scores!
Well, a perfect shot. We'll see if it was tipped or not. The one-timer goes directly in off the goal post. I'm not sure Potvin saw it. or saw all of it. As you can see, Olchuk and McCowan are in front of the net, but I don't think Olchuk touched it. And Zamnoff lets one go from 59 feet on the one-time slap shot. Potvin not having a lot of time to set up because of the one-timer. And Zamnoff gets his first of the game, and it's 3-0 Winnipeg. Zamnoff now has a 3-game point streak going, 2 goals, 2 assists for 4 points. Missed 8 games with a micro fracture of the tibia. A micro fracture. No, it's hard to see.
Gotcha. Alexei Zhamnov on the power play has made it 3-0 Winnipeg. Benoit Hogue, Sergio Momesso, and Matt Sundin up front for the Leafs, who are back in deep here. Murphy using the boards, got it to Johnson. Up to Momesso, cleared the zone. On comes Matt Sundin. Hogue jumps up, takes the pass to Sundin to Hogue, shoots. Bobby Boolin's got it.
Well, Habby Boolin has got a real thing going here with Winnipeg. He's giving them the best goaltending they've had since the 81-82 season, when a mediocre team was led by Bob Essens at 2.88 goals against average. Here's a 2-on-1, and we're going to see 3 passes. 1 pass, 2 pass, 3 pass, and the secret there of the stop was that Habby Boolin was able to come back and forth across the net with each of those 3 passes, and by the time the shot was taken, he had the angle cut down and was still standing up. Hogue couldn't put it by.
And while Hogue waiting for Darren Turcotte to move in and take the face-off in the Winnipeg end of the ice. Meso to the left, Sundin to the right on this formation. Puck went back to Murphy, fires, it was blocked by King. Johnson accepting Murphy's pass, couldn't get it to the net. Out come the Winnipeg Jets, that's Chris King. Turcotte moving in quickly, there's the pass, off Johnson and off Potvin too. Murphy to Sundin. Benoit Hogue races over center and on into the Winnipeg end. Gave up the puck. Momesso is there. Here's Hogue, and it's jabbed away by the goaltender. Now Sundin with a shot. Wouldn't have mattered. The net, as you see, is way off the post there. Bobby Boolin hearing it from this crowd. He has been spectacular.
Sundin is pleading with Dvorsky, the referee, that Habby Boolin knocked the net off and should get a delay of the game penalty. When you're the captain, here's the play right here now. A nice play by Manson on Sundin, but the puck squirts loose right here on a poke check by Habby Boolin. Sundin shoots it, and it's given back to him. But you can see the net was off before he shot it. And here's another look. Who pushed it off? Oh, yes, it was not Habby Boolin. It was the Leaf player, so the goal wouldn't have counted. Benoit Hogue knocked it off.
And it's still off. Nobody wanted to put that thing back. There you go. The referee, Paul Dvorsky.
Usually that's the linesman's job, but the referee, belonging to the same union, was allowed to fix the net.
Mike Hudson, flanked by Baumgartner and Domi. Gill and Yushkevich, the defense combination, as we watch Mike Eastwood dump it in. And rolled it in quickly. Yushkevich fell into the boards as Ronan handles the puck. Now it's Eastwood. Enzi turned off the boards, left it there. Ronan is pushed out of the goal mouth by Gill as we watch Yushkevich now. Can't get it up and out of the zone. Ronan strikes one up. That's blocked. Big rebound. Eastwood can't get it by. And that'll backhander it tonight. Potvin stacking those goal pads, and here comes Gill. Todd Gill with all the Jets back. Now Baumgartner is rubbed out by Malgunas. Habby Boolin to Ronan. And he gets pushed over by Domi. Late penalty call coming. It's against Winnipeg as we watch McCowan handle the puck. Felix Potvin starts out of the net. Didn't get halfway to the late bench before the whistle, and Toronto going to the power play, looking for something to get them back into this hockey game.
Well, they need a goal in this power play. They have started to lose interest in this game after playing a first period that they were outscored, but I didn't think badly outplayed, but I can't say the same thing for this period. And Ed Ronan, who took a check from Ty Domi, grabbed onto his stick, I think, and will get the penalty. So 13-15 to go in this 3-0 game. Ty knocks him down, and then Ronan grabs onto his stick, and when Ty tries to leave, you can see the problem he's got. He's dragging about 180 pounds. Potvin makes a good stop coming up right here. On the first one, on the second one, but the best one he saved right here. Eastwood robbed him.
7 shots on goal thus far in the second period for Winnipeg. Late power play underway as Gilmore sets up Murphy at the right point. Through a screen, Gartner scores!
Well, on the power play, Mike Gartner placed himself in front of the net and snapped the rebound in, his first goal in the last 5 games previous to the night. And the Leafs get a power play goal that may energize them slightly. A good low point shot right here by Murphy. It gets through, bounces off Happy Bulin, and before Happy Bulin could recover, number 11 Gartner snaps it in. That is goal number 13 for Mike Gartner and his 6th power play goal of this season.
We'll see if that sparks the Leafs as the goal is scored at 7:05 of the second period. Matt Burns, Mike Kitchen on the bench. Walmsley on the headset upstairs. Right from the drop, Pat Burns gets Domi out with Gilmore and Andrechuk. Gartner, Murphy, and Gilmore in on that goal.
Well, Happy Bulin had gone 108 minutes and 50 seconds in parts of 3 games without giving a goal up till Gartner snapped that baby down.
All 3 in on that goal. Moving up in the 1,000 point mark in their brilliant careers. Owen dumping the puck in, Allen to chase it. 3-1, Winnipeg leading on home ice, where they've won 3 in a row and have lost only twice this season. Leafs beat them here. The other team to beat them, the Colorado Avalanche. Gilmore to Andrechuk, the shot hit Quint. Taken out of the corner by Domi. Trying to get through some traffic, and was bumped by Drake with a big hit. More than a bump. Now shot back in on an offside. Still going to face off outside the Winnipeg blue line when we return in a moment.
Uh-oh. Looks like systems problems. How long before the unit fails? Who knows? What about the backup?
Son, that is a backup. And they make them in Montreal.
UPS introduces early AM service to the States.
Bonjour. Bonjour, Montreal.
Guaranteed overnight from Canada to U.S. business centers before 8 a.m.
You'll have it by 8 tomorrow. 8 a.m.?
Somebody up there likes us.
UPS early AM to the USA.
What are you looking at?
No good.
The Spumante Bambino bubble test. Only the best bubbles make it.
They came from Canada to discover the fine art of French winemaking. They gained a few hints and a whole new perspective to create a masterpiece called L'Ambiance. The New World wine made the Old World way.
Closed captioning of this period is being brought to you by Apple Auto Glass. Exclusive Bond for Life installations. Guaranteed safer by 130 apples, coast to coast.
Well, the Toronto Maple Leafs complained. Here's Ty Domi, nearly gets his head ripped off there by Drake on a body check. The Leaf bench complained because there was some kind of a screwball down there dressed up like a jet pilot. And referee Dvorsky came over and told him to get back to his seat. It's a good way to learn how to swallow about the ends of about 6 sticks leaning over the glass onto the bench.
How much wood could a woodchuck chuck?
And every other one's aluminum.
Hendrickson takes the man. Wood comes in after the puck. All the way around. Allen couldn't get to it. Drake gets to Drake. Dallas Drake over center and on into the Leaf zone. Dropped it off. Solani with a shot. Rebound is blocked. And then it skitters wide of the Toronto net. Net is bumped maybe off. He's back in position as Hendrickson beats the right side. This is Craig. Drops it off for Dave Ellett shoots one off the skate and in. That is going to be protested by the Jets, but Mike Craig is celebrating. If it stands, it's a 1-goal difference.
Well, Mike Craig was guided into the net by the back checker, Eddie Olczyk. And I'm not sure that whether it hit Craig or Olczyk, but Dvorsky will probably go upstairs to get a ruling on this, but he made the initial sign that it was a goal. But he's now going to get a call to the video goal judge, who's going to tell us whether the puck went off Mike Craig, or whether he made it a move to have it go off his leg into the net. No, I'm not sure whether it hit Craig or not. Eddie Olczyk was back checking on him. So let's have a look at it. Olczyk 16 white, Craig 9 in blue. And it looks like Solani, number 8, caught his stick there, and the puck actually went off Olczyk. The other question is, did it go in before the net came off? And I think it did.
Well, it is under review.
Let's have another look at there, Solani. He touches it, deflects it off Olczyk, and the puck is definitely in the net before the net comes off. So it's hard to believe that that goal won't count. Stranger things have happened, but not many.
Pat Burns awaiting a decision. Hobby Bullen, as you saw, was out of the net quickly to protest. Quick goals by the Maple Leafs, we think. Will it be made official?
I never know whether a long conversation increases the chance of a goal or decreases the chance. But yes, it's a goal, as we could see. Let's have a look at it here. Remember that the video goal judge wants to see every angle, so there's no doubt about it. If there's any doubt, he's got to go with the referee's decision. Off Solani's stick, off Olczyk's leg, into the net before the net comes off. So the Leafs all of a sudden are back in this hockey game after looking like they were heading south in a hurry.
And 14 into the 15th game since Mike Craig had scored, and this one is credited to Craig at 8:42 of the second period. Bobby Bullen, who had shut out Edmonton here and was spectacular through the first period when the Leafs had 17 shots on him tonight, now finds himself with a 1-goal lead on home ice, and Jets have been outshot 24-18 to this stage.
Well, he had no chance on the goal, but he might have had a chance on not giving the fat rebound he gave up on the initial shot. Nevertheless, Alec Hendrickson are in on it, and the Leafs are trailing by 1 now as we're approaching the halfway mark of the game.
On the blue line, Yushkevich launches one. Bullen going to knock it aside. Aaron Shannon clears the zone, a break for the Jets as they move in. Jamnov takes the pass, tees it up, shoots it. Blocked in front by Yushkevich. Igor Korolev turned it to the corner, came right back to him. Can't get it to Jamnov. Gill is all over him, isn't he? Oh, dish to loose. Jamnov cut it off. Shannon moves in. The net comes off, and there's no further play. See where Potvin ended up.
Well, Felix Potvin was in a tough spot. He knew he had to hang in and stop the puck, and he knew he was going to get hit by Shannon, who was coming out from the corner. So Potvin, who has really kept the Leafs alive here in the second period, and now they're back in the game. And here's what I'm talking about. He knows he's got to stay there, or Shannon may jam the puck in, and he takes a hit. Yushkevich gets caught up here trying to intercept the pass and gives the Jets a 2-on-1 on Todd Gill. Todd Gill I don't know why Jamnov didn't shoot it right away, but he was thinking of a better play than that. And the Leafs got off the hook on a bit of a no-brainer by the Winnipeg Jets' clever Alexei Jamnov, who knows where the net is.
Now the forechecking of Gilmore frees up the puck. Andrechuk through Gartner, as it turns out. Leafs able to recover at center ice. Johnson and Murphy on defense. Andrechuk, Gilmore, and Gartner together. Gartner taps it into the Winnipeg zone. Now Gunas plays it up off the glass, and that goes into the Toronto bench. We're midway through the second period in Winnipeg. The Leafs have closed the gap. It's 3-2 at this stage.
The land mark of characteristically clean, cold, and crisply defined by a consistently held and fluid belief in everything you're made of. Why? Because I
Welcome back to Winnipeg as we watch the Jets move into the Leaf zone. That's Dolan. And to get around the defensive work of Kenny Johnson. Gilmore trying to tie up Darren Turcotte. Turcotte peels out of the corner with the puck. Centers, here's King, and he's checked. Mike Gartner starts out. Murphy trailing. Gartner played it toward the net. Hobby Boolin's got it safely tucked away in the big catching glove. The closed captioning of the second period is brought to you by UAP Napa Auto Parts, the pro's choice in 2,600 member installer and Auto Pro service centers across Canada.
I think the Leafs have got to really get after the Jet defense. That's the weak position on their team. Here's Chris King, the captain, battling in front of the net. Taken out by Gilmore, but you can knock him down, but you can't knock him out. One of the real hard-nosed players in the National Hockey League. Great respect among his teammates here in Winnipeg. I was saying that the Winnipeg Defense Corps, outside of Manson and Newmanen, you're into some people who can be exploited if you get on them on the forecheck and you take them out physically and you challenge them wide on the rush, because the Winnipeg team's success lately has been masked to some degree by the great goaltending Hobby Boolin's given them. They're a strong offensive team, but they're still 20th in the league with excellent goaltending in the goals against.
Yeah, give up about 3.5 while scoring 3.8. You dissect their game so far. Speaking of dissecting, whose job is it to handle the videotape and come up with that, Gary? For the Leafs. Whoever's got a VCR, I guess, huh? I think that's Kitchen's job. We watched Manson with a long shot. Dave Ellett off the boards and out. Manson bunted it out of the air and shoots it right back in.
I think Kitchen and Walmsley alternate games of looking at the tape and making their...
Here's Dallas Drake with a wraparound that's cleared aside by McCowan. The Leafs had the benefit of being here in time to watch the game between Winnipeg and Edmonton on Sunday night. We'll be right back.
I really don't need these glasses. I just use them for seeing.
Thursday, for one time only, see Kelsey Grammer and Jack Benny together on stage.
Oh, now cut that out.
In a special tribute to a comedy genius with the help of Jay Leno, Phil Hartman, and Dan Aykroyd. Don't miss Kelsey Grammer salutes Jack Benny. Thursday at 10 on CHTV 11.
Eat softly while you're learning, not so loud my stomach's turning.
If you're trying to decide how much power you need, how much speed, if you're trying to decide how many megabytes or gigabytes, and if you're trying to decide what's the right price to pay, there's only one decision to make. Computer City, where you can speed up your Windows CD-ROM with Ballard Synergy's D-Time 10 and D-Time 95, or the Okidata OL600E printer that prints 6 pages per minute. Computer City. You can't make a wrong decision when you go to the right store.
Hey, the day the music dies here in Winnipeg, April 12th, but until then, Dancing Gabe will do his thing. Gabe, give me a couple of lessons. What do we do?
Like this.
Little leg action.
Yeah, a little action.
The Dancing Gabe exercise video will be out in your best-selling stores coming up at Christmas time. A great stocking stuffer. Show us what you can do. Cut some carpet, bud.
Hey, Southern Ontario. Merry Christmas, Happy New Year. Joyeux Noël and bonne heureuse année.
All right, let's dance.
I'll tell you what, Harry. If we run into these two post-game tonight, you're buying.
And I thought Paul had some rhythm.
Oh, boy. Only in Winnipeg. Benoit Hogue losing the draw to Zhamnov. A 3-2 hockey game.
Oh, Dancing Gabe, he lights the life up for the Jet fans here. That was one of the poorer renditions of many of his good dances, I can tell you that. He's a popular guy here in Winnipeg.
Benoit Hogue, spelled H-O-G-U-E. On to Sundin. Look at the moves, and he sent it across, only to find Momesel well covered. On the rush of Jamnot for Winnipeg. Looking at Janssen, brings it across the line on a neat move. Cut by Murphy. There's going to be a penalty on the play. Slash indicated by referee Naborski, and it's on Larry Murphy of the Leafs.
And Zamnoff, who made a fancy little move to start that outside maneuver around Murphy, and Murphy chases them all around behind the net, and Zamnoff still trying to get the feeling back on his legs. Here it is right here. This Zamnoff can handle the puck. He gets outside Murphy. Murphy makes the change, the turn, and there's the slash. Murphy doesn't believe it. And here's the move. Look at this. Into his feet, back up to his stick, on one skate, outside, then ouch! Zamnoff goes to the bench and he's getting his right hand looked at. Of course, he's probably wearing those Gardner gloves that a lot of the players are wearing in the National League now. No cuff, light, and not much padding. The good players, the guys that go to the outside on defense, you'd think they'd wear the longest glove as far as the cuff's concerned with the most padding.
Well, looking for the speed. Gotta be light. Just like Paul Hendrick, light on his feet. Speaking of light, this Winnipeg team has lit it up tonight with a man advantage. They've got it here. Drake has the puck. Alice Drake. Taking through Shannon's skates. Ellen went to him. Ellen takes it off the boards. Dave Andrechuk gets to it. He's surrounded by Jets. Help arrived in the form of Ellen and Gilmore. Dave Ellen popped it loose, and it's held in by Winnipeg. McCowan goes to the right side and is able to clear it the length of the ice. 20 seconds remaining in Murphy's slashing penalty. 7 minutes remaining in the second period. Aaron Quint, quarterbacking the power play, has sent Korolev into the Leaf zone. Igor Korolev shot one off Wood. Taken by Todd Gill, and again, Winnipeg has to go back. Leafs are out shooting Winnipeg 26-20 at this stage of the game.
Normally Zamnoff plays the point on this power play, but he's still doing some treatment over there on the Winnipeg bench on his hand.
Randy Wood just took Newman into the boards heavily, and Tefo Numanen is still down.
And this is exactly the spot that Keith Tkachuk got at Sunday night on a check by Maltby. And Numanen really looks like he's in trouble here. They can ill afford to lose him for even a shift, let alone any length of time. The Winnipeg Jets, thin as can be on the defense core. Let's have a look at it here. Numanen stops, and then Wood comes in. It wasn't from behind, it was more from the side. As the stop play, and there it goes. And he never did see Wood coming. And I don't think there was a penalty called on it. It definitely was not right from behind, but it'd be pretty tough to convince Newman on that, who probably still doesn't know what happened to him. And it looks like it might be his right shoulder or arm. What a loss that would be to the Jets if it's serious. And when you see the guy going off, holding his arm against his chest, you know it's got a good chance of being serious. Here's another look. And it definitely was not right from behind, and the first thing to touch the boards was the right shoulder of Numanen, and so there's no penalty on the play. And that's the second player the Jets have lost right there in that same area of the rink. And Chuck, who's supposed to be able to play in the next home game on Thursday night. Now the Jets are in deeper trouble on defense as they lose their best all-around defenseman. I would think for at least the rest of the night, if not a lot longer.
Numanen has been in on all 3 Winnipeg goals tonight, scoring 1, setting up the other 2. And this Toronto power play Winnipeg power play has 40 seconds left to go. Dave Batson starts from back of the net. Dish it on. Aaron Quint rattles it around the glass. Olchuk and Gill collide. The puck comes loose. Manson steps up. Plays it all the way back to the net. Olchuk works it to the far side. Solani look to Quint. Solani holding it, centered off the post and cleared by Gill. Hansen covering the right point. Into Korolev. Davies gets a stick on it. Turns it around the boards and all the way down the ice. That will kill off the penalty against Larry Murphy. Jets not credited with a shot on goal on that power play. Winnipeg with a 3-2 lead at the moment. Baumgartner is out now with Hudson and Gartner. Long pass, just a little too far for Gartner. Developing in the Winnipeg zone. Baumgartner. Now Hudson back in the net, unable to get it to a teammate. Chasing it back for the Maple Leafs is Jamie McCallum. Right to left side. Baumgartner tips it to Hudson. That ankle's still a little sore. Baumgartner and Hudson for the Maple Leafs as Chris King, Turcotte, and Doan move up for Winnipeg. Potvin has snagged that one and held on. 3-2, Winnipeg leading the Leafs, reaching the late stages of the second period.
We want to make it perfectly clear. You'll find guaranteed low prices at your Canadian Tire store every day. If you find a better price anywhere, we'll match it. Guaranteed.
Well, Eddie Olchuk, who's parked himself in front of the net on more than one occasion, makes a nice little tip. He just misses as it goes off the goal post. It had Potvin beaten. Potvin, you can see, trying to look around Olchuk. Todd Gill's got two guys to take in front of the net. And the Leafs get off the hook on a close one.
Now the Jets setting up in the Leaf zone. There's Turcotte with a neat little turnaround play that didn't work for him. Dave Andrechuk up goal off the puck and brings it towards center ice. Andrechuk playing it into the Winnipeg zone. Only to have the Jets slap it off the glass and out. That's Johnson steaming back. Going into forecheck. Kenny Johnson, Ty Domi on to Doug Gilmour, and it bounces off his stick, recovers. Puts it on the end boards. Malgunas looked up and Domi was headed his way. Here's Andrechuk. In front was Domi, but he couldn't get a stick on the puck. Chris King can't get to it at center ice either. Todd Gill works it around for Dave Andrechuk. On to Murphy. Out on him in a hurry. Here's Korolev across the line, shooting high and wide. Dave Andrechuk clears the zone. Jeff Finley gave it away. Gilmour down the left wing boards, on into the Winnipeg end with a setup to Andrechuk. It's loose. Domi shot it wide. That's Aaron Shannon leading the rush for Winnipeg. Handoff tries Korolev. Is checked. Right in front of backhander, turned aside by Potvin. That off Korolev's stick. Up comes Benoit Hogue to Ty Domi. Hogue jumps up. There's the pass. Hogue at a backhand, and he was checked by Manson. Manson, here's the zone. Going all the way down and across the goal line. Todd Gill to touch up. Chances at both ends of the ice. 3:20 left in this period.
Being oneself, styled expressionist, punctuating the ordinary, searching innermost pockets for your ID, detecting the truthfulness necessary to unapologetically say, this is the way I am.
Hey folks, have you seen these new beauty trucks? Boy!
Don is talking about the new Ford F-Series XLS. He's saying the XLS has many extras like two-tone paint, air conditioning, cruise control, and more. Over $3,600 in extras. And a powerful V8 and automatic transmission for only $29.95. Canada's best value in Canada's best-selling truck.
Toughest truck around!
Gee, that guy gets on my nerves.
Ty Domi had an excellent chance to tie this hockey game up as he went to the net. And you can see on a turnaround shot, he shot it wide. Then he and David Manson get together. And before they separate, they've exchanged pleasantries, elbows, sticks, feet, you name it. Ty Domi's been well behaved here on his first return to the Winnipeg Arena since coming over in the trade last year as he was suspended. when the Leafs last played here. Korolev, the ever-dangerous Korolev, rattles one off the right post. So the Post brothers have been good. Right and left. 2 for Felix Potvin.
Look over at Felix Potvin's shoulder, and you look down. Our trivia quiz. Harry, I got mine right. How about you? The former Leaf was the first coach of the Oakland Seals.
No, I'm not going to give it away, but I know the answer to that.
You got it? Benoit Hogue to take the draw. Monesso on the right, Sundin on the left. It comes back to McCowan. Maybe McCowan shot hit Ed Olchuk. And out of the zone, carrying it is Dallas Drake. Trying to move in on Ellett. Ran out of skating room, didn't he? And here's the talented Solani setting up Shannon. Off the boards, Potvin to play it here. Solani went to the puck. Now tries to get to the front of the net. A backhander changed direction. Big hit. Hogue taking Drake into the boards. Hogue receives the pass and moves it on. Sundin right back to Hogue over that Winnipeg line and pulling up on Solani. Dished it off to Sergio Momesso. Sundin trying to come out of the corner. Olchuk around the boards and out. Ellett with it at center ice. Dave Ellett off the boards and got away from Javi Bullen. Now Gunas with it now. Emo Solani. Solani at center ice goes straight wide, and here's Drake. Waiting for Olchuk to take up position in front of the net. Drake holding it and then moving in, only to be checked by Murphy. Hendrickson and Wood at center ice. Long pass off the boards ahead of Mike Craig. Maybe Hendrickson goes to it. Hansen went to him. Olchuk and Craig in on it as well. Out of there for Craig. Around Wood. Fine. Ronan is able to move it to the far side, but McKenzie couldn't do anything with it. Here's Ed Ronan, playing it to no one in a white uniform. Johnson down this left side now, slaps it off the boards with a minute and a half to go in the second period. Difference in this game is 1 goal. Leafs have outshot Winnipeg. Haven't been able to capture the lead at any stage tonight. Johnson off the boards. Off Randy Wood, right to Doug Gilmour. Now to Gartner, and he was tied up. Here comes Gilmour, slaps it over the glass. They have stopped with a minute and 15 seconds to go in the second period.
Well, Kenny Johnson, who got a little taste of the pine in St. Louis in the third period in overtime, has responded as the coach would like him to by playing a more aggressive and a safer game. Used to love those players who used to say to themselves after they were benched, "I'm going to show you, Neil." It's exactly what you're looking for, and it's a good quality for a player. No one likes to get benched, and very often they don't think they should be benched. Wow. Sundin, we knew he had a great pair of hands, but we didn't realize he had that kind of skill.
He'll get to lead the parade with moves like that. There's Yuskevich back to the net. See if we can get a chance to ask you in the third period about players playing to get the coach fired. You talk about guys responding. Some, the majority do, but there's some who don't. Seem to light a fire under some guys. Yuskevich.
Every 2 weeks when they look at their check, that should ignite all of them.
Should. Gartner can't get it deep in the Winnipeg zone. Oh, big hit. Yuskevich on King. Wow. Mike Gartner trying to dance through a crowd. Turcotte looked up at the clock. He decides to lift the puck toward the Leaf line, where Yuskevich volleyballed it right to Gartner. That's a hand pass.
Well, that was a big-time hit on King. And King may be filing number 26 away in his filing cabinet. But what you like to see about that is he takes the hit like a man, gets up and plays the rest of the shift. Now, if he doesn't like it, he can wait a while before he takes a run at Yuskevich. But too many players, too many times, on a nice body check, get mad because they were hit. He asked for it, and he got it. Nothing wrong with that. King knows it. That's why, of course, he had to dig it out of Zvik's feet, and he's got big feet. that this guy's a tough customer. Take a hit, give a hit, get on with the game.
23-year-old Dmitry Yushkevich back at the Leaf bench. He had a look at Chris King, the Bracebridge native. Gallup lines up with the puck. 22 seconds remaining in the second period. And Sundin steps to the Winnipeg line. Lost the handle on it. Hogue is there. Put it in front. McCowan pinching in from the left point. Posits it back of the net. Hogue can't pick it up. Sundin back into his man, and it's Alexei Zhamnov controlling it as time runs out. Period number 2 is over. So at the end of 2, the Toronto Maple Leafs have battled their way back into this. And your score, Winnipeg 3, the Leafs 2.
Spring 1993. Kiki Delaney watches as a world away, a nation of 1 billion people stirs. She asks herself one simple question: what will China eat? For her clients, she buys $5 million worth of an Alberta fertilizer producer called Agrium. In 2 years, Agrium's share value triples. 175 portfolio managers, 409 research associates, 38 countries, one vision. Spectrum United. To us, there are no foreign markets.
Uh-oh. Looks like systems problems. How long before the unit fails? Who knows? What about the backup?
Son, that is a backup. And they make them in Montreal.
UPS introduces early AM service to the States.
Bonjour, Montreal.
Guaranteed overnight from Canada to U.S. business centers before 8 a.m.
You'll have it by 8 tomorrow.
8 a.m.?
Somebody up there likes us.
UPS early AM to the USA.
We were walking in circles. We're still dizzy. I never want to see them all again, ever. I just want to stay here and watch a movie.
Take a holiday from shopping. Make it a blockbuster night.
When those who rule began destroying a nation, only one man was brave enough to lead the fight. Liam Neeson, Jessica Lange, Rob Roy from MGM UA Home Entertainment, rated 14A.
It can grow, shrink, grow again, go up, go down, compound and stretch. Retire, why not? It can check 1, check 2. Diversify, help and assist, divest, invest. Short term, long term, what am I waiting for? Spend, save, it's money, my money.
Channel 11 News. Update.
Good evening. The Tory axe will fall tomorrow, and every Ontarian is expected to feel the repercussions. At least $3.5 billion in government cuts are expected in what's being called a mini-budget.
I ask what the human cost of not doing some of these measures is. Long-term, Hal, I really don't see where we have any alternative. I think that we have to face up to this expenditure problem that the province has. It's not nice. Nobody relishes doing what we have to do tomorrow.
In Montreal, police are looking for a gunman that shot and killed one of their own. 30-year-old Constable Odette Pinard was working alone in a police substation when she was shot in the face. Pinard had recently returned to work from maternity leave after having her third child. And fallout today from the separatist forces after Prime Minister Jean Chrétien's statement that Quebec will be recognized as a distinct society. Those stories and much more on Final Edition right after tonight's hockey game.
Here's tonight's Maple Leaf trivia. Name the former Maple Leaf who was the first. After 2 periods of play, the Winnipeg Jets lead the Toronto Maple Leafs by a score of 3-2. Of course, a 3-0 lead for the Jets, and the Leafs came back with 2 goals, but then when they were down 3-0, Pat Burns put a little bit of life, a little bit of muscle out there, and one of the guys he turns to in times like that is the bomber, Ken Baumgartner. He's with our own Paul Hendrick.
Well, it's a homecoming of sorts for the man named Bomber who grew up in Flin Flon cheering for the Bombers. This game resemblance, of course, of the Vancouver game about 3 weeks ago where you trailed by a few goals and have suddenly come back. The team is fighting.
No, we certainly have established our forecheck, which has enabled us to get some offensive opportunities in the last period.
Ken, you spent the offseason studying finance at Hofstra University on Long Island. Obviously, academics played a major role in your career beyond hockey.
Well, hopefully it'll all pay off in the big picture. It's a 14-year plan, going to summer school for a 4-year degree, but that keeps me focused. It's easy to train when you stay in one place.
Hitting the books and the boards, best of luck.
Thank you.
All right, back inside to Gord.
Well, thanks very much, Paul. Well, they talk about Ken Baumgartner earning his degree at Hofstra. A lot of Maple Leaf players playing quite well at the minor league level. Sean Haggerty, he hasn't stopped from the word go. 30 goals in 27 games, better than a goal a game for the Detroit Junior Whalers. Then you look on defense, and Jeff Ware, the first-round pick, he doesn't get the points, but the Leafs have been extremely happy with his play on the blue line with the Oshawa Generals. Meanwhile, St. John's has been the hottest team in the American Hockey League. Still a stranglehold on first place in the Atlantic Division. Pretty crowded below them, but they're in first. You look at the leading scorers, a new name on top. Stefan Walby has come up from nowhere to take over the lead. Kent Manderville, of course, still in third place, hoping to get another crack at it. Well, the score is 3-2 here. The Winnipeg Jets over the Toronto Maple Leafs. Key play, a hit on Teppo Newman, and hopefully he'll be back for the third period.
From the day you drive it home, your car's finish has lots of enemies. The sun, rain, rust, time. Pretty soon, it's not pretty anymore. You need the better get Mako guys.
Right now, Mako value is better than ever. Get our great-looking Mako Ambassador finish for one low price, our best value, only $279. Call Mako today.
Enemy, 2 o'clock. Mako, Canada's smart choice.
If I get close and he smells, no way.
The way to fight odor and wetness is Clear. Clear Arid Double X protection against wetness and odor.
Yeah, I trust Arid.
Get a little closer with Clear Arid Solid and Gel.
We were walking in circles. I'm still dizzy. I never want to see them all again, ever. I just want to stay here and watch a movie.
Take a holiday from shopping. Make it a blockbuster night.
From Hollywood Pictures Home Video, Lucy believed in love at first sight.
He was perfect.
Until by accident, she met Jack. Now they're head over heels in love. While you were sleeping, rated PG.
The human face, a landscape, difficult terrain where certain hairs grow taller, longer. Introducing a revolutionary 3-stage shaving system, Braun Flex Integral. The first foil removes short hairs. An integrated cutter shaves longer hairs. Then the second foil completes the job. New Flex Integral, for Braun's closest shave yet. Braun, the world's most recognized shave.
Ice time after 2 periods of play for the Winnipeg Jets. Teppo Newman with 15 minutes, 24 seconds. Hopefully he'll be able to come back and play a bit more. Timo Solani, you see at 10 minutes. And here's the reason why Newman may not come back. On the power play, he takes a hit from Randy Wood. His right shoulder looks to hit the glass. Newman and left favoring it. Hopefully not a separated shoulder. We're going to hope to get a report pretty soon. Right now, Teppo Newman being attended by the physicians at Winnipeg. Toronto Maple Leafs, Matt Sundin getting lots of ice up front, and Larry Murphy along with Kenny Johnson. They've been the big defensive duo for the Leafs the last little while. You can see that he logs a lot of ice time, and that's been certainly the case tonight. After 2 periods of play, the Winnipeg Jets lead the Toronto Maple Leafs by a score of 3-2.
obsession from it, Calvin Klein. At the bay.
Ah, maritime lobster. So sweet, so tender.
Red Lobster.
Tonight at Red Lobster Canada, indulge in lobster and 18 shrimp. Enjoy 2 delicious maritime lobster tails, plus fried shrimp and garlic shrimp. The lobster and 18 shrimp dinner. It's only for a short time, so drop in soon and taste the excitement.
Red Lobster for the seafood lover in you.
No cheese. I gotta have cheese. Cheese sandwich, cheese omelet, ham and cheese tacos. Cheese balls. Yeah. Wine and cheese, cheesecake, cheese soup, cheese slice. Yes.
You'll never run out of things to make as long as you never run out of cheese.
Cheese burrito, cheese pretzel.
When you've got cheese, you've got choice.
Cheese.
GoldenEye is Canada's #1 movie with a bullet.
Name's Bond. James Bond.
And critics are calling it one of the best action-adventure movies of the 90s. Only Bond can deliver thrills this big. On a scale of 1 to 4, GoldenEye gets 7 stars.
Bond. Only Bond.
Pierce Brosnan is the best Bond since Sean Connery. And GoldenEye is the best Bond film ever.
Trust me.
GoldenEye, now playing at theaters everywhere.
Play our weather word contest and you could win one of 4 Toro Powerlight snowblowers just by guessing the secret word from the letters we give you weeknights during our final edition weather report. You can count on the Toro Powerlight when you want it done right to get you on the go in the heaviest snow.
I'm joined by General Manager John Paddock of the Winnipeg Jets. And John, can we update Teppo Numinen's condition so far?
I haven't heard anything at all yet, so hopefully it's not too bad.
The team has struggled defensively so far this season. Would you be willing to part with one of your frontline marquee players in an effort to bolster the blue line?
No, if you're talking about Slaney, Kachuk, and Jamnoff, no, I don't think that there's many defensemen equal to them, and if they are, those teams aren't going to part with those defensemen.
Goal scoring will get you into the playoffs. Defense will win postseason games. Will there have to be a change one way or another to tighten up what has happened on the blue line this season?
Well, we'd like to add a defenseman or two that we think could help our hockey team, and if we can do that, we'll do that. But we will not be parting with those 3 or a young player like Shane Doan. But we know we can score goals. We've had good goaltending. We know we could make an adjustment or two.
All sorts of talk off the ice about the Winnipeg Jets. It looks like they're going to Phoenix. Is this true?
Well, there's strong rumors that way, and I think where there's smoke, there's usually fire, and there's a report out of Phoenix today. So I would assume that that's us they're talking about and that things are heading in that direction.
Winnipeg Jet General Manager John Paddock, thanks for dropping by. Let's send it back to Gord.
Thanks very much, Paul. Well, John Paddock hoping his team can hold on to the 1-goal lead. Lots going on in the world of sports. For a complete sports update, let's go to Ken Welch.
And thanks very much, Gordon. Good evening. Let's wrap about the Raptors here for a moment. Damon Stoudemire and the Raptors in Cleveland hoping not to be outgunned at the Gund Arena. Great defensive play coming up by Willie Anderson. Gets in front of the pass here, keeps the ball in play. Stoudemire spikes it ahead with a left hand to Alvin Robertson for the basket. The Raptors led throughout the first half. John Sally to Anderson, over to Jean Tabak for the slam. That worked well for the Croatian center, but not this one. Sally dishes to Tabak. He gets a piece of the rock. The Tabak chop on the rim. He missed it. The Cavaliers would pull ahead, stay ahead down the stretch on their way to a 93-89 victory over the Raptors. Toronto now 5-10 on the season, and that's all for now. Now let's get back to Gord.
Time now to take a look at our NHL out-of-town scoreboard. Well, it's a final in Pittsburgh. Marcus Naslund has the hat trick as the Penguins defeat the Senators 7-2. Big win also for the Colorado Avalanche. The New York Islanders still struggling. Claude Lemieux comes back and scores a hat trick against a New York area team. Detroit 3-2 winners. They edge the Montreal Canadiens in Motown. And one game still in progress. Now in the second period, the Chicago Blackhawks have a 2-0 lead over the Edmonton Oilers. Here it's 3-2, the Jets after 2 periods of play. We'll be back with the play-by-play of the third period.
Ladies, want to make the man in your life really happy this Christmas? I mean really, really happy? This year, give him something he'll really want to get his hands on. Something from Radio Shack, like this. At Radio Shack, there's loads of gift ideas that will stimulate any man. And at the very least, we can always supply good reading material. Radio Shack. You've got questions. We've got answers.
Ah, maritime lobster. So sweet, so tender.
Red Lobster.
Tonight at Red Lobster Canada, indulge in lobster and 18 shrimp. Enjoy 2 delicious maritime lobster tails, plus fried shrimp and garlic shrimp. The lobster and 18 shrimp dinner. It's only for a short time, so drop in soon and taste the excitement.
Red Lobster for the seafood lover in you.
You've got that magic touch.
Sometimes, babies like Jamie here need a little help at first. The kind of help that, well, you're just glad it's there. Last year, over $510 million in lottery proceeds went to help Ontario hospitals and babies like Jamie. You can't always see it, but the Ontario Lottery Corporation touches us all.
That magic touch.
Okay, I'm the new kid on the block. Mr. Duracell? Mr. Energizer?
You think you're better than me?
I'm long-lasting, too, and I've got more. Up to 25 times more life in me. All I need is a quick boost.
Hey, Duracell, Energizer, Pure Energy is here. Canada's first mercury-free alkaline battery that's rechargeable.
Whoa! Pure Energy!
Ooh, we got a live one here.
Here's the summary of tonight's game brought to you by Pure Energy, rechargeable alkaline batteries. Solani and Numanen scoring in the first period, giving the Jets a 2-0 lead. Then in the second period at 4:41, Jamnoff would make it 3-0 Winnipeg. Out on the power play as Numanen and Solani assisted. But back come the Leafs. Quick ones. Gardner at 7:05, Craig at 8:42. Leafs out shooting Winnipeg 26-23 as we get ready for the third period at Winnipeg.
Well, I'm sure Pat Burns is trying to remind his players that they looked like they were down, out, and gone in this game. They got 2 quick goals in the second period, and they got a chance, if they can win the third period, to get a point or 2 and jump on that Winnipeg Jet defense, who are now trying to play the last half of this game without their best all-around defenseman, Numanen, who looked like he hurt his shoulder and will not return.
No, they're a man short on the bench, counting the players. Eppo Numanen did not return. That's Todd Gill moving it up for the Leafs. Skavich had to turn and go back for it. Played it behind Ty Domi. That's going the length of the ice. Dave Manson watches it go all the way around to the corner. Now Jeff Finlay has to hustle over. Results the same, an icing against the Leafs. Harry, late in the second period, we were talking about motivation of players sitting on the pine and coming back playing well. There's thoughts in some communities that guys play to get coaches fired. We've already had 3 guys fired this season in the Northeast Division.
And we have 3 other coaches, Constantine, Lee, and Crisp, whose job is supposed to be on the bubble. Rumors, players moaning about ice time, players moaning about no power play, players don't like to be criticized. I guess the only question I have, are the realtors in North America selling and renting houses to the players, to houses without mirrors?
Without mirrors?
Without mirrors. It seems to me the salaries are higher, that we know that for a fact, and the complaining about the coaches has increased as well. Are the 2 situations dependent on each other? I don't know. What happened to Rick Lee in Vancouver is a joke and unfair to not only Lee, but to Pat Quinn and the players.
Yeah, exactly. Station reporting Sunday night that he'd been fired. Indeed, he has not. Here's Turcotte leading the rush for Winnipeg. It's right at the end of his shift. They're in the middle of a change. Latvan's pass got through to McCowan, then up the boards, but too far for Mike Gardner. That sails over the glass.
I remember in Vancouver myself, coming home from a game in L.A. We had on the same plane that flew from Vancouver to L.A. and I sat down in my seat and picked the paper up. This was in about February of my last year there. The headlines in the province, Neil fired. I wasn't fired till May, so the paper was right, but the date was wrong. But it seems to happen in Vancouver more often than most other cities, and how those rumors get to be reported as facts is beyond me.
Wonder if those 3 will be in Phoenix next season. Very studious, weren't they? 3-2 hockey game. Winnipeg leading Toronto Maple Leafs. That's Sundin chasing the puck. It's tangled up. Now Gardner is rubbed up by Malgunas. Waiting back of the net was Darren Shannon. Jets just content to dump it into the Leaf zone. Potvin holds it up for Kenny Johnson. Johnson up the boards and out. A big bumping hit after the release. The result again is an icing call against the Maple Leafs.
Well, Kenny Johnson was on the wrong end of a pretty stiff check there. As he loses the puck for a second and he has to look down for it. And when he does, Darren Shannon carries him into the boards with some enthusiasm. He appears to have weathered the storm. That cut on his lip he got Friday night against Hartford. And one of the Shannon boys, two of whom play for this team.
Darren 25 and Darryl 27. Both played their junior hockey with Windsor.
What a thrill it must be for Mr. and Mrs. Shannon to see two, not just one, two of their sons make it to the National Hockey League. So all those trips to the rink and early morning practices and spending money that you didn't have on equipment. I hope the Shannon boys are repaying Mr. and Mrs. Shannon. Knowing both of them a little bit, I am sure they are. They're quality guys.
Sure are. Darby Hendrickson on the draw, but it's won by Winnipeg, and Manson's shot stuck through. Randy Wood carries it down the left side. Craig racing into the right wing corner, went to the man. The puck went to a jet. Alice Drake was able to clear it. Here's Hendrickson back at the Leaf line. Trying to find some skating room. Slowed up by Solani. Allen turns to go back. McCowan and Ellett. Up front it's Craig, Wood, and Hendrickson. Dave Ellett, a long pass off Craig's stick and knocked away by Quint, but Craig recovered. Randy Wood chases it in. Manson gets it out of there. Craig puts it back in. Up steps Manson. Long pass off Solani's skates as he was open at the blue line. And Olchuk steps out of the corner. Centers off a skate and cleared away by McCowan. Randy Wood freed it up for Craig and he turns it over. 24 is Darryl Shannon, who is unable to get it back into the Leaf zone. Back in the back of the leg for Craig. Meantime, Ed Ronan moves it out for Winnipeg. We played 4 minutes of this third period. The Leafs trailing by a goal, and they play giveaway. Setting it up is Ronan for a shot that just missed. Sergio Momesso works it on. Mike Hudson with a backhand pass that didn't get to Gardner in time. Or Baumgartner, excuse me. Now Hudson has dumped it in. Bobby Bullen teed it up. The Jets play it over Yushkevich's head and all the way down the ice. Not far enough nor fast enough for icing as Gilmore is back on it now. Looks up ice. His teammates in the middle of a change. Gilmore steps over center. Played it off Dave Manson, who moves it out. Yushkevich promptly puts it right back in again. Hindley goes to it. There's Momesso as well, and now it's Chris King skying it out of the zone. Yushkevich off the boards into the Winnipeg end. Manson to recover. Chris King trying to get it out of there. Does. Dmitry Yushkevich gets it back into the Winnipeg end. Now Chris King moves it on to Turcotte. One chasing it. Hot man to play it through Turcotte as it turns out. Now Todd Gill from back in the net tries the left wing boards. Andrechuk got it to the line. Carrying it out of the zone is Gill, and he bounces it off Andrechuk's skate right to Hobby Bullen. Hobby Bullen has it. Ty Domi has scored. He's put the body across the goal line, but it's still 3-2 Winnipeg.
Well, only about 100 yards. No, that's it.
From the best of the blues to the best of soul. From the best of rock to the best of modern rock. It's all inside the Best of Music guidebooks. Free inside specially marked 2/4s of Molson Dry. No purchase necessary. Must be of legal drinking age. Each of the 4 books is full of insights into major artists, their work, and best recordings. Look for your guide. Free inside.
So, how's Harvey's New Mexican burger?
Translation?
fabulous.
Spicy, exotic.
Heady? Heavenly.
What's on it again?
That would be your famous Harvey's charbroiled hamburger, processed Monterey Jack cheese, and chunky Mexican salsa for just $1.99.
Let me $2.
He says no problem.
Harvey's,
we've got your taste. Harvey's new Mexi burger. Only $1.99.
Ty Domi comes up with a rather colorful move right here. And he did not get all the way over the line, as you said. But Ty has kept his emotions in check tonight. That's one of the things Pat Burns wants him to work at. And I'm sure this game in this arena is a little tougher for him to do that than most games in most arenas.
Oh, it's got to be. Quick shot right from the draw. Sundin got it to the goaltender. Nikolai Habibulin has faced 27 shots from the Leafs tonight.
Well, the Leafs won the draw. Benoit Hogue takes the face-off right here. Sundin comes in behind and lets the shot go, and he didn't get a lot on it, but that's a set play sometimes. It's awful tough to get at Sundin if he comes in behind the center. Lanny McDonald used to do this on a regular basis in Toronto, Calgary, and Colorado. In fact, when I was in Vancouver and Roger Nielsen was coaching with me, we called this the Lanny McDonald face-off play, where the off-winger, and there's no way the defenseman that lines up against you, you have to be playing on your wrong wing, but there's no way that the defenseman, now it's Gardner going over here, can get out to you if you play off the hash marks a little bit and come in behind Sundin.
It's Quint's responsibility. The puck went back to Janssen. Off the post and in! It's 3-3!
That has to be the shortest shot in the history of Matt Sundin's career. The puck was on the line behind Sundin, or behind Habibulin. And again, the face-off was lost. Sundin wins it back, and he goes to the net. Korolev goes to the point instead of staying with Sundin, and it cost the Winnipeg Jets a goal. The defensive center, number 23, look at them go to the net. So that Eastwood and Korolev both went to the point. Nobody went to Sundin, and he stepped toward the net and shoveled one in from 1.5 inches out.
That's his 8th of the season. It ties this game at 3-3 in Winnipeg. And two Jets collide as Korolev and Manson got all crossed up. Johnson leaves it on the end boards. Facing it here is Mike Craig. Craig trying to get away from his check. Now Randy Wood fired toward the net off the skate of the defenseman. Gandalf turns it to the boards. Good forecheck thrown up by the Leafs. There's Wood with a shot. Habibulin handcuffed. It's under him twice, and now finally he's able to put the big catching glove down on it. Scuffling.
Manson shoved Darby Hendrickson behind the net. Hendrickson wasn't sure who it was, but it's a good thing that Manson wasn't interested in a little scrap. Here's the chance I'm talking about right here. Now watch Darby Hendrickson, 16. 1, 2, 3, 4, and finally Manson wrestles him to the ice. Hendrickson doesn't like it and gets up and ready to go. Now here it is here. Eastwood got thrown out of the circle. Now Korolev, the winger, has to take the draw. The winger always goes to the point off a face-off. Both Eastwood and Korolev go. Korolev, the center, did not stay with Sundin, and it's in the net. A small mistake turns into a big goal against.
New life for the Leafs after trailing 3-0 in the second period. Gartner scored a power play goal. And Craig and now Sundin early in the third period. 3-3. Jam up along the boards here. Larry Murphy got it in deeper to Randy Wood. Wood cross ice. Here's McCowan unloading. It's blocked. Wood slapping at it. Habibulin down, and he's covered the puck.
Well, I mentioned earlier that Habibulin has played as well as any goalie in the league in the last month. And Winnipeg is not a strong defensive team, and his great goaltending has masked that weakness. There's a bounce shot that's difficult to handle. And the Winnipeg Jets are not giving their goaltender the kind of support he needs because he can't do it alone night after night after night, and he's had a great stretch.
That Leaf goal that tied it up. Put some long faces on this bench, hasn't it? It's Sundin from Janssen and Hogue at 4:31 of the third period.
We just got word that Teppo Numminen hurt his shoulder. He's out for the night. He'll be re-examined in the morning to see how serious it is. So it's the start of possibly some real bad news for the Jets.
Yeah, it could well be.
The center's out on the faceoff again. This time, will Dallas Drake stay? Yes, well, he's played a little center. I'm not sure Korolev has.
Jets trying to move it out of the zone. Harold Shannon got it to the lead line. Sundin has dropped it to McCowan. Now to Wellet. Up to Mike Gartner. Gartner steps over center. Fires a long one. Bobby Bullen blocking that. There he was. Up well above that goal crease. Not a whole lot of net.
On any shot from the outside, Habib Bullen gets 8 or 10 feet outside the crease, which decreases the amount of net the shooter can see, but it also decreases the length of the shot. Instead of being a 60-foot shot, that baby was about 40. Now, when you start going from 40 to 20, you got a problem.
Bates won the draw, and Ellett fires a long one. Referee Paul Dvorsky, spotting something here, is headed for the penalty box, and he is taking Mike Gartner with him, it appears, or is that just for a discussion? Just a discussion. It's Malgunas is leading.
Gartner had a guilty conscience and started toward the penalty box, but the young Stuart Malgunas, who came over from Philadelphia for Russ Romanek, is in front of the net right there. Does he interfere with him? Gartner gives him a bit of a whack. So he thought he got the penalty, but Dvorsky, and finally, both of them are in, and that's more like the call. There's the interference. You can't do that to a guy without the puck. And you can't do that once a guy's done that to you, even though you haven't got the puck. So we play 4-on-4. The Jets have scored once 4-on-4. Numminen was the guy that scored. They don't have that offensive threat. There's 9,694 fans here, far below capacity.
The Winnipeg number 36, Stuart now has 2 minutes for cross-checking. Time of the penalties, 5 minutes, 56 seconds.
Now there it is, cross-checking on Malgunas, slashing on Gartner. It'll be Hogue, Sundin, Ellett, and McCowan for the Leafs. Mike Eastwood moves in to take the draw. Won by Toronto, and Ellett played it well wide of the net. Dallas Drake turns it around the end boards, and Pat Burns changes up his defense. Gets Gill out there with Murphy. On comes Dallas Drake. Got it off Gill, got the zone rebound off Gill, and put it right on target. And Hold across to Todd Gill. Right side to Sundin. Racing in. Hansen took him to the boards. This is Jeff Finley. Dallas Drake. Jets come to center ice. Drake pulled up, gave it to Manson. Fires a long one. Blocked by Potvin, and the rebound goes to Drake. To Solani, who whistled it wide. One-time that with great timing. Now Solani peels off the right wing boards, in and out of traffic. Turned around, taken down. The fans want a penalty. None will be called. Murphy feeds Sundin. Back to Murphy and off the edge of his stick. That's Darren Quint for Winnipeg. Murphy coming back. Dropped it back to McCowan, to the right side to Andrechuk. Long pass was off Gilmore. Darren Quint with a chance to move it out. And checked by Dave Andrechuk. The Chucker with a shot that's blocked. Hamilton made a coming out of the corner here, controlling the puck smartly. Drops it to Gilmore. Gilmore just overled Ellett, who's hauled off his skates by Jamnoff. No whistle on that play either. On comes Quint to Jamnoff to Quint. Lines up and is checked from behind by Andrechuk. Now Korolev works his way from the corner. Shannon's shot is blocked. Andrechuk unable to control it. Here's Jamnoff for Winnipeg, and the shot is well off the target. McCowan got a piece of him. And Dave Andrechuk floats it to the Winnipeg line. Quickly, Finley to Korolev. Long, sharp angle shot is blocked. Ellett to Gill. The game tied 3-3. Todd Gill through center ice. Plays it in off the far boards. Hobby Bullen holds it up. Quickly, the Leafs into forecheck, but it's Manson controlling it now with a lead pass. Turcotte through center. Gunas jumping up, so is King. Turcotte is knocked down, and here's Sergio Momesso using the board. Hudson got tied up in front of the Leaf bench. Finley flipped it over the head of Turcotte. Back on it for the Leafs. Dmitry Yushkevich to Todd Gill. Worked the boards with a pass that was too far for Momesso. Leafs will go back. There will be no icing on this dump in. Gill around to Yushkevich, who draws a crowd. Puck came loose, and Potvin tries the opposite side of the ice. Turcotte steps in for Winnipeg. Aaron Turcotte puts it on the board. Yushkevich turns it to the right wing, too far for Gartner. Darby Hendrickson back now for Toronto. Check in his own zone. Potvin to help. Here's Todd Gill. Up to Momesso. Takes a hit, moves it to Yushkevich. Can't get over the Winnipeg blue line. Chris King gave it away to Sergio Momesso. Got the play back onside, but the Leafs are changing up here. 10 minutes, 45 seconds remaining in the third period at Winnipeg. Game tied 3-3 as we watch Mike Craig dump it in. That's Randy Wood racing it after it. Wood was met by Shannon. Hendrickson was there as well, but it's Winnipeg coming away with it. Solani down the left side. Backed at by Craig, and the crowd is screaming. Here's Solani. Back of the net, out in front, hit the pipe. Olchuk sets him up. Solani is checked by Mike Craig of the Leafs. Here's Murphy through center ice. Randy Wood with him, 2-on-2 at the Winnipeg line. But it ends up being an offside call against the Leafs. The fans are venting some frustration.
Christmas comes early at Willowdale Dodge Jeep. So make no payments for 6 full months and get full book value for your trade. Zero down delivers. Plus, every vehicle is drastically discounted to rock, even 40 all-new 96 Grand Caravan. Hurry to Willowdale Dodge Jeep, 5959 Young. Just a page about the beach.
Oh, well, I'm the kind of light for any job you do. Any job that needs 3 hands, but you've got only 2. Cause I'm the snake light from Black & Decker. I'll get around, I'm the snake light.
The newest Black & Decker Dustbuster. With twice the power as before, it'll pick up more than you think. The Dustbuster. More power, more pickups.
Surf's up. Now you can go one-on-one with CHCH on the internet. Get connected to the CHCH TV homepage and all of our internet friends around the world at chch.com. You just never know where the wave will take you.
The closed captioning, period 3, being brought to you by Apple Auto Glass. Exclusive Bond for Life installations, guaranteed safer by 130 apples, coast to coast. Mark this date on your calendar. Sunday, January 7th, the public is invited, Maple Leaf Gardens, 1:30 that Sunday afternoon for the skills competition. Tickets available at Maple Leaf Gardens or at Ticketmaster. And Dave Manson is thus far in the skills competition around the league. Recorded the hardest, the fastest, is it?
Hardest shot, 100.8 miles per hour. The record since the NHL started these skills tests, Al Iafrate. He fired one 105 miles per hour. Turcotte for the Jets, they've already had their skills contest. Finalists going to the All-Star game. The fastest skater, Turcotte, made it in 13.5 seconds. Mike Gartner holds the record 3 years ago. He did it in 13.3 seconds. And Keith Tkachuk in the shooting accuracy hit 4 to 5 targets with a cast on his thumb. The finalists go to the All-Star skills contest Friday night before the All-Star game.
6 events that Sunday afternoon, January 7th. This game is 3-3. A little less than 10 minutes to play in the third period. Finley and Domi tied it up on the boards, getting the clock stopped. Noticing today, as you check the Western Hockey League standings, I think more importantly for Leaf fans, the points being put up by Mark Dayel in Saskatoon, a kid that the Leafs drafted about 126th in the '94 draft. 55 points in 26 games, tied for second in the Western Junior League. Harry, pretty good young centerman.
Is he a big kid? Do you know his dimensions?
No, I don't.
He's not vertically handicapped.
Not to the best of my knowledge. Finley back into his own zone here to recover the puck for Winnipeg. Too far for King with that outlet. Maybe fired it wide. Finley going back. Domi knocks him off the puck, and here's Gilmore setting up Andreychuk. Domi battling his way to the boards. Turcotte and Andreychuk. helping out. There's Dave Benson to clear it around to this side of the ice. And he took a big hit from Toby, just whacked him across the back of the legs.
And Dvorsky is letting both of them go.
Isn't this something at Winnipeg? The game is tied 3-3. Don't go away.
The land, mark of characteristically clean, cold, and crisply defined by a consistently held and fluid belief in everything you're made of. Why? Because I
It's the festive season, and once again, Swiss Chalet is bringing you a special tradition, our festive special for only $6.95. Along with a plump quarter chicken, golden fries, or baked potato and chalet sauce, you'll also receive cranberry sauce, tasty stuffing, and a festive treat, a 100-gram Toblerone Swiss chocolate bar. At $6.95, it's a jolly good deal, and it's our way of wrapping up our thanks to you. The festive special, only $6.95.
3-3 game with 8 minutes to go. Dvorsky, the referee, allowing a little more than normal. That could have easily been a penalty, and so could this. Two tough customers, former teammates Manson and Taidomi exchange pre-Christmas gifts.
Now it's Hogue with Sundin and Gartner for the Maple Leafs. Murphy and Johnson on defense. Barry Simpson changed up once the puck got into the Leaf zone. Sundin gets it to Benoit Hogue. Battle right at that Leaf line. Shannon freed it up. Aaron Shannon dumped it in deep. Johnson went back. Sorts things out. Now Hogue steps back in the net. He heads up the left wing boards. Johnson gives him the puck. Gartner plays it in deep. That's Sundin going in after it. Back of the net to Gartner, and it jumped away from him. Gartner's right back on it, however. Deep to the corner for Matt Sundin. Can't get it to Gartner. Now he centers. That was off. Now Gunas. Close call. Shannon. Gartner ran into him. Harold Shannon gets away, but a lead pass is too far from his teammates. Doubled right back in again by Johnson, but this one goes out of play. Paul Hendricks got a guess for them. Paul?
Well, Jigs, thank you very much. No stranger to hockey, former Londonite turned pass catcher for the Winnipeg Blue Bombers, Gerald Wilcox. Gerald, the Winnipeg Blue Bombers are a vanishing breed, and perhaps so too the Canadian and the Canadian Football League. What's your feeling what might happen in Toronto at league meetings this weekend?
Well, I wish myself I'd be there to represent the Canadians, but you know, I really can't say what's going to happen as far as some of the teams that are going to be involved next year in the league, as well as some of us homegrown boys.
The London Knights having some problems this year. Any thoughts of coming back as an overage?
Well, I think I'd be a way overage, but I wouldn't mind picking up the stick every so often.
Thanks for dropping by. Jigs and Harry, back to you.
Thanks, Paul. Mike Craig turning here at center ice has fed Jamie McCowan up the slot to Wood, but it bounced off his stick, and he's been able to hold on to that. There's nobody between he and the goaltender. Craig, Hendrickson, and Wood. Darby Hendrickson backing into Drake as Wood handles the puck. Andy Wood. Drake all over him. Craig is rubbed out, but Hendrickson dishes it off. Wood had been taken down, and that allows Salani to find some opening. Alice Drake moves up with him, takes the pass, off right wing, shoots, blocked by Potvin. Darby Hendrickson turns the play the other direction. Plays it on into the Winnipeg zone, then shoves it in. Olchek. Players trying to sort themselves out as they make changes at the two benches, and the coaches are screaming at the officials. Nothing to be called. Hudson here. It has been a strange night in Winnipeg. Gill puts it back to the net. There's Ken Baumgartner. Haircut on him. So is Drake. Comes right out in front. Onto the stick of Chris King. Picked up by Hudson. Gill slams it off the boards to right wing from Omesso. Baumgartner to the front of the net. The shot blocked. A big rebound there, but the Jets are able to clear the zone. Up comes Jones. Worked it off the boards. Yushkevich back. A very good exchange with the goaltender Felix Potvin, but the Leafs do control it. Here's Momesso through center ice. Bobby Bullen to play it. High off the glass. Gilmore bunts it back toward Murphy. Johnny Johnson. Andrechuk, Momesso, and Gilmore at the moment. Momesso is headed for the bench. Out comes Mike Gartner. This game is 3-3 under 6 minutes to play in the third period.
Referee Dvorsky has let a lot go, and both coaches have been upset, and rightly so. The question is, you can't start calling them now after you've set this kind of tone.
Nope. Winnipeg will be called here for having iced the puck once Johnson touches up. 5 minutes, 28 seconds remaining in the third period at the Winnipeg Arena.
Ken Baumgartner was a member of the 1985 Prince Albert Memorial Cup Championship team. His coach was Terry Simpson. His teammate was Dave Manson. And they played against Sergio Momesso, who was playing for Shawinigan Falls in that Memorial Cup playoff. Manson and Bomber, the only two left from that very fine Prince Albert team still in the National League. And I know Simpson, when he put Manson and Baumgartner out together, Baumgartner was a defenseman then. There were a lot of forwards who never came over the blue line.
Ain't that the truth? Look out. Gilmore in after a loose puck. Can't get it to Andrechuk. Around the boards. Murphy's shot from the point is knocked down. Ends up on Korolev's stick. 2-on-2 through center ice, crisscrossing his old Chuck. Steps into one. High and wide, and it bounces off the glass all the way out to center. Quickly, the Jets set up here. Korolev. Manson. Right side. Shannon chasing it. Aaron Shannon unable to center it. Gilmore goes to the corner. Korolev went to the corner as well, and the puck is underneath Igor Korolev. So we're going to face off here with just under 5 minutes to play in the third.
In the year 1995, television came to an end, to be replaced by a new technology, one that was far more advanced, that could produce true realism and offer the viewing experience that no television ever could. A completely superior line, known as UltraVision.
The future just keeps coming at you. I think about kids today, those video games they play. Every year, a new generation, more advanced. Well, this is the next generation of power. Renewal from Rayovac. They're alkaline, like regular batteries, but more advanced. You can renew them, reuse them, instead of just throwing them out. They don't just come back, they come back strong. Play it smart. Rayovac Renewal.
The closed captioning of this third period from Winnipeg is being brought to you by Apple Auto Glass. Exclusive bond for life installations guaranteed safer by 130 apples coast to coast.
That's the last time I want you to stand up in the broadcast booth, Jiggs. Listen to the crowd.
Amazing, isn't it? Must have over-tipped every cab driver in the city. Crowd, as Harry mentioned, 9,694 here tonight. They saw the Jets get off to a 3-0 lead before the 5-minute mark of the second period. And the Leafs have come back on goals by Gartner, Craig, and Sundin. 3-3 is your score.
Reminds me of an old quote by Oscar Wilde, who once said, "The play was a great success, but the audience was a disaster."
You remember which play that was?
No, I don't.
More checking of Sundin, now Momesso, but there's Solani over on right wing. He and Drake come to center ice. Alice Drake has handled it. The whole thing went offside. The clock stopped here with 4 minutes and 20 seconds left in period 3. As far as the power plays tonight, Winnipeg 2 of 4. The Leafs are 1 of 4 with the man advantage. Winnipeg did score a 4-on-4 goal to get that 2-0 lead before the end of the opening period.
Canadian Tire has great prices on everything you need. Plus, earn Canadian Tire money with every cash purchase of merchandise. Great prices made better at Canadian Tire.
Well, we know with Teppo Newman gone, the Jets are down to 5 defensemen. David Manson's played 10 minutes of the first 15 minutes of the third period. So all ice time has gone up for the Jet defensemen, and we could be heading into overtime, and fatigue could be a factor in the outcome.
Now the Leafs coming to center, but Hendrickson was off stride. Randy Wood in the Winnipeg zone, fired it toward the net. Aaron Shannon trying to dig it off the boards, puts it back of the goal. There's Manson with Wood right on him. Hendrickson tying up Aaron Shannon. Mike Craig steps in for the Leafs. Jets free up the puck, and it's Jamnov moving it out to Igor Korolev. Back to Jamnov. Fires and scores!
Well, the Winnipeg Jets turn a 2-on-2 rush into a goal, and Felix Potvin rarely beaten on the short side. Randy Wood had him in the neutral zone. Korolev fights, Zamnov fights him off. He's well outside. Yushkevich couldn't get him outside any further, and Potvin missed it. So 2 Leaf mistakes with 3:35 to go put the Jets ahead 4-3. Life for a goalie in the National League. You're only as good as your next save, no matter how great your last save was. Potvin, who has been excellent for the Leafs, missed that one.
That's Jamnov's 14th goal of the season. 2 of them tonight, 4 of them against the Maple Leafs. We had the 2 here when the Leafs were victorious back in the first of this month. Dino Solani had their only goal in the game at Maple Leaf Gardens. These 2 teams next meet at the Gardens on January 17th. And it's 4-3 Winnipeg. Kenny Johnson out of the zone with a pass off the boards. Gilmore chases it. Picked up by Chris King. Gilmore went right to the captain of the Jets. Dave Manson floats it out towards center ice.
This is the line that Terry Simpson wants out and has got out a lot of times against Gilmore. Turcotte, King, and Doan. And they played the Edmonton's big line, Waite, Arnott, and Seager, to no goals Sunday night, so they're doing their job.
Domi is out now with Andrechuk and Hogue. Dave Andrechuk works it off the boards, and Olchuk turns it around to the near side. Skavich to the corner. Benoit Hogue puts it back in the net for Dave Andrechuk. Andrechuk having trouble getting away from the tight checking of Daryl Shannon. Hogue is there to help out. Now Domi chases it. Domi with Dave Andrechuk. Tied up with Valgunas. Jets using the glass and bounced away from Yushkevich covering the right point, and back goes Todd Gill. 2 minutes and 2 seconds to play in the third period. The Leafs down by a goal in the giveaway. Aaron Shannon dumped it in. Yushkevich turns it up the boards. Matt Sundin with it here. The pass on to Gill's stick. Up to Gartner, who was in his skates. And Korolev feeds it up the wing. Aaron Shannon has taken off the puck. Sundin is there now. Round toward Hogue. To Gill and right back to the front of the net. Potvin didn't reel it in till now. And gets a face-off in the Leaf end.
Another injury here.
That's Korolev.
Although he appears to be all right. He's getting up. But he's holding on. Either he was winded or he hurt his right arm. Wrist, because he still hasn't grabbed his stick, and that's the broken wrist or broken arm pose. And here it is right here. He tries to kick the puck loose and is taken into the boards by Yushkevich, but certainly not very hard. Well, he's going to the Winnipeg dressing room here, holding his left arm. Let's have another look. You see him coming through the crease there, trying to kick the puck loose. He fails at that, but Yushkevich roars him into the end of the rink, and now he's gone to the dressing room. So with 1:33 to go, we have a timeout call, and Pat Burns has called it. So he's setting up the goalie out play. If the puck gets into the Winnipeg zone, He'll bring Potvin out, and he wants all 5 players on the ice to know what their job is, and the one player that's going to replace Potvin to know, stay within 10 feet. Wait till the goalie gets within 10 feet of the bench. If you go on early, they blow the whistle and face it off at center. Well, the reception must be good in Flin Flon for CHCH Bomber Country.
Looks that way, all right. Yeah. Coming up following the action from Winnipeg, the Molson Cup 3-star selection. There's a candidate, certainly, Alexei Zhamnov, who has given Winnipeg the lead.
Winnipeg's got Korolev, Zhamnov, and Solani one-on-one, very dangerous, and turn what looks like a harmless, even-numbered rush into a goal against.
Hogue beat Turcotte on the draw, and it's Murphy back of the net. Larry Murphy. Doug Gilmour, Gartner and Andrechuk with him at center ice. Gartner dumps it in. Bobby Bullen thought about playing it. Andrechuk centers. It's held by Andrechuk. Couldn't get it through Manson's skate. Potvin had started out of the net, but the Jets are able to clear it, and Murphy races back ahead of King. Larry Murphy. Now Potvin is starting out of the net again. Murphy backhands it in from center. Bobby Bullen held it up. Aaron Shannon got checked. This is Gilmour to the point for Sundin. Leafs with the extra man out there. Murphy to the boards. The Jets able to clear it. Sundin will get there ahead of Chris King. Winnipeg getting out of the Leaf zone as Momesso carries the puck to center and shoots it in. It was blocked partially by Manson, and Gartner goes to him. Momesso spun Turcotte around, allowing Gilmour to handle it. Now Gartner centers. Momesso can't get it by Hobby Bullen. Aaron Turcotte couldn't clear it out. Here's Gartner. Momesso open in front. Gartner can't get it to him. Murphy covering the right point, lets one fly into a crowd. Gartner picks it off. 14 seconds left. The Jets having trouble getting it out. Murphy is down the deck. And the Winnipeg Jets toward an empty net. And a little too much on it. Callis Drake icing the puck. Solani got to it first. And it's all over at Winnipeg.
Well, the Winnipeg Jets win their 4th straight game. They are now 8-2-2 at home. They blew a 3-0 lead and then scored a goal with 3.5 minutes to go to snatch the 1 point that the Leafs thought they might have with a tie out of their hands. And Alexei Zhamnov, who's getting back into the groove after coming off a fractured tibia, scores 2 tonight, including the winner.
Big win for the Winnipeg Jets. The Leafs got back to a tie, but couldn't get the victory tonight. 4-3, the final score at Winnipeg.
Okay, I'm the new kid on the block. Mr. Duracell? Mr. Energizer?
You think you're better than me?
I'm long-lasting too, and I've got more. Up to 25 times more life in me. All I need is a quick boost.
Hey, Duracell, Energizer, Pure Energy is here. Canada's first mercury-free alkaline battery that's rechargeable.
Whoa! Pure energy!
Whew, we got a live one here.
Obsession. Obsession. Obsession.
Obsession. Calvin Klein.
Available at Eaton's.
Here's tonight's Molson Cup 3 stars. The 3rd star, Dave Manson for the Winnipeg Jets, got a lot of ice time, particularly after Teppo Numinen's injury. The 2nd star, the best Maple Leaf player, Matt Sundin. And the 1st star of tonight's game, he scored the game-winning goal, Alexei Zhamnov. Once again, the final score of tonight's game, the Winnipeg Jets 4, the Toronto Maple Leafs 3.
Is full of stories below its varied surface. Like this one,
A Caribbean paradise for some, a deadly struggle for others, including the endangered loggerhead sea turtle. For every 1,000 born, only one will survive the natural predators, the pollution, the 3,000-mile journey across the Atlantic. This turtle is lucky. She has endured. And now you'll find her in the Azores or on page 94 of National Geographic magazine. But as a member, you'll get even more. Your magazines will also bring you up to 6 maps throughout the year. You'll enjoy special member prices on society products, and you'll be helping to fund important research and exploration. To experience all these benefits of membership,
from Winnipeg Arena, the Winnipeg Jets 3, 4, the Toronto Maple Leafs 3. With me, the first star of tonight's hockey game from the Winnipeg Jets, Alexei Zhamnov. 2 goals tonight and 2 goals 4 weeks ago when you lost to the Leafs in a 4-2 game. How come so much success versus Toronto?
Well, I don't know. I just come before the game, I think, and, I don't have lots of goals like last few games, so I just think, I want to help my team. That's what I want to do, and but 4 goals last 3 games against Toronto, this is like a surprise for me because last 2 years, I don't have so many goals against Toronto, So of course, I'm happy we win tonight. I think so. We play very hard and have a great job tonight.
Tell me about the winning goal tonight. It comes with 3.5 minutes left in the hockey game, and it gives the Winnipeg Jets a big 4-3 win when you'd given up 3 consecutive goals. Tell us how it happened.
Well, I think so. I have a good pass from Igor Korolov. I just try shot, but I think it's a little bit lucky, lucky for myself. That's why I have this goal, I think so important have a bad position. I have lots of space right side, that's why I have a goal.
No problem for this team scoring goals this season. Defense has been a problem. Can you people be a force to be reckoned with when the playoffs come around despite the very young defense?
Well, I think so, if we play every game hard, if we stick together all 20 guys, I don't think so we have a big problem defense and, just, play hard every game. That's what I'm going to do.
Spasibo, and best of luck the rest of the way.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you.
Game's first star, Alexei Zhamnov, 2 goals tonight as the Winnipeg Jets defeat the Toronto Maple Leafs by a final score of 4-3.
Available at Sears.
Okay, I'm the new kid on the block. Mr. Duracell? Mr. Energizer?
You think you're better than me?
I'm long-lasting, too, and I've got more. Up to 25 times more life in me. All I need is a quick boost.
Hey, Duracell, Energizer, Pure Energy is here. Canada's first mercury-free alkaline battery that's rechargeable.
Whoa! Pure energy!
Ooh, we got a live one here.
You made it. But uh-oh, your hair didn't. No problem, because you've got the new Bronze Style Shaper. the heated styling brush that goes anywhere you do. Because it's cordless. With its heated bristles and special ribbing, it smooths, it styles, it gets your hair back in shape in no time. It's one hot little hairbrush. The new Style Shaper from Braun. You never know when you'll need it next. Or when you'll need the other convenient cordless style makers from Braun.
What's so new about new Speed Stick Clear deodorant? Take a look at this gel. See? It's wet and sticky. And mine, it goes on dry.
New Speed Stick Clear. It's more than clear. It's clearly dry.
By Menon. Hey, I'll take dry any day.
Time now to take a look at our NHL out-of-town scores. Final, Pittsburgh 7 over Ottawa 2. Mario Lemieux didn't score, but he picked up 3 assists in that game. Big win for the Colorado Avalanche. Hat trick for Claude Lemieux. Joe Sakic chips in with 2. They beat the New York Islanders 7-3. And Detroit hangs on at home to defeat the Montreal Canadiens by a score of 3-2. We have one game still in progress. That's in the second period now. Murray Craven pacing the Chicago Blackhawks as they lead the Edmonton Oilers 4-2. Once again, the final here in Winnipeg. The Jets 4, the Toronto Maple Leafs 3.
So, how's Harvey's New Mexican burger?